MLS 166171, subject to lender approval, and MLSConsumerAccess.org.
Looking for serious power and a serious deal? It's truck season at Wilkinson Chevrolet GMC in Sanford, and you can get 5.9% financing for 84 months on the tough, dependable GMC Sierra 2500. Whether it's for work, play, or both, the Sierra 2500 brings the muscle, and Wilkinson makes it easy to drive one home today. See dealer for details. Hurry to Wilkinson Chevrolet GMC in Sanford or online at wilkinsoncars.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
In World War I, American fighter pilots covering a plane's rear position coined the phrase, "I've got your six," to mean I've got your back. Through their service, veterans have our backs. Now we should have theirs. Learn more at gotyoursix.org using the number 6.
Hi, I'm Michael from the War and Treaty. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. Only Novo Nordisk makes FDA-approved Ozempic. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5 milligram, 1 milligram, and 2 milligrams.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Midday Monday, temperatures in the middle 60s as we head into the afternoon. A few breaks of sun out there with high temperatures near 70, still breezy at times. Overnight, partly cloudy in the mid-50s. More sun Tuesday, highs mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Chris Michaels in the WRAL Severe Weather Center.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 512 points today to 45,992.
Snap back to Bailey, left hashes at the Irish 45. Bailey uncorks one, right sideline. It is caught. Touchdown, NC State.
Young throws to the end zone. McMillan's open, makes the catch. T-Mac with his first career touchdown. Flush to his left, throws downfield. Dowdle wide open. 10-5. Touchdown, Rico Dowdle. Buckle up.
Leaves it for Gostisbehere. Back to Aho. Shooting spot for German.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. What's going on, everybody? There's not many times I can say this. Carolina Panthers won over the weekend.
Let's go.
Back-to-back weeks.
Let's go.
Carolina Hurricanes kept up their end of the bargain. It was a good professional sports Carolina weekend. So we're going to try to have good vibes. We're going to try to be upbeat. We're going to try to be optimistic today. And that obviously includes all of you, because at 4:15, so in a little over an hour from now, we will be opening up the phone lines, something we call Monday Soundoff. You can nitpick if you want the good. You can praise the good. You can find the bad. If you're a State fan, you may be a little upset with how things went in South Bend. It's a basketball AP ranking that came out today. We'll open up the Heister Automotive Group hotline at 4:15 for all of your reactions. If you'd like to bookmark the phone number now, you can do that. 919-860-5326. Phone lines not open now. They will be open at 4:15. Right now, it is time for the Big 3 at 3.
Number 1.
Carolina Panthers, 30. Dallas Cowboys, 27.
Take that, Cowboy fans.
Go back to wherever you came from, because all the Dallas, they're not from Dallas.
They're not from Dallas. Drink your tears along the way.
There you go. And that was a win for the Panthers, which, quite frankly, I didn't see coming. Quite frankly, I didn't see the Panthers being where they are right now when they are. Like, I didn't see this happening. So I'll put my hand up and say happy accident, right? Like stumbled upon it from my vantage point. But they are 500. They are undefeated at home. They have at least a plan A for the rest of the season when it comes to stopping the run and running the ball. They have the semblance, at least, of being real. Dave Canales was asked about being 500 this late in the season, which you may say it's just week 6, but for the Panthers, that is deep into a season to be 500. And this is what Dave Canales had to say.
It's a group commitment to the process and the way that we practice, the way that we study, the way that we talk to each other, and the type of effort that we ask for in our practices. It leads to good results. And there's got to be a trust in this process that it will lead to good things. If you just show up and give us everything you have when you're in this building, when you walk in these doors, it leads to improvement. That's what we're looking for, progress. We're looking for improvement in all areas, and we're seeing that. We're seeing groups work together to be able to come away with the full team win right there was really amazing, and it allows me to just double down on the fact that this process works.
Dave Canales is, I don't know if it's shtick or vibe or what, but whatever Dave Canales is, it works better after a win. It's the exact same, like darn near word perfect, the exact same as what he would give us after losses. After losses, it's like, what are we doing? After wins, it's like, this guy is a genius. Look at that. They just beat the Cowboys off that process, and the process with the process and the trust and the work and the process. Listen.
I feel great about playing football right now.
We can all agree on it after a game like that. You're not the only one that feels great about playing football. Listen. They beat the Dallas Cowboys 30-27. That right there in and of itself makes the weekend a massive success. And I'll be honest, like we all now have to get back into rhythm, right? Meaning media members that cover the Panthers, fans that root for the Panthers. This is nearly uncharted territory, right? When you win 2, 3, 4, 5 games a year, every win is just met with, we're gonna ignore the cracks in the foundation and just celebrate. But once you're a legit NFL team, you win, and it's still real conversations about how'd you win, what could you do better, what did you escape with. They won back-to-back games. They're playing a winless team going for 3 straight and trying to be above 500. We get to have real football conversations, which we normally have after losses, don't get me wrong. After wins, we usually blindly celebrate. We get to have real football conversations today about the Panthers, and we'll do that at 3:15. We'll continue at 3:15 talking Panthers. In the meantime, let's get to number 2 in the Big 3 at 3.
Number 2.
Carolina Hurricanes on Saturday beat the Philadelphia Flyers in overtime. At home, their last home game for quite some time. They're going on the State Fair roadie. There's a lot to talk about in that game, but I'm gonna start with what I consider to be the most fun part of this entire season for the Carolina Hurricanes. Seth Jarvis is going to be a star this year. It is truly. It's kind of crazy how this happens in life, where the opportunities kind of start funneling through and everything lines up right as somebody is ready to become a superstar. I'm thinking like a musician, where they're featured on someone else's record and it becomes a number one like 4 months before they put out their solo record, and it's like, oh, okay, all the momentum's there. This is going to be crazy. Seth Jarvis is having that, right? The Amazon show, a really good season last year. He was on Team Canada. Now he's coming into this game. And in his first 2 games of the year, he has game-winning goals, including one in overtime, in the last couple of moments of overtime. He has the personality. He has the skill set. His team has gotten better around him. Seth Jarvis is about to be thrust into the spotlight in a crazy way. I don't know what it is. I think last week I made a Friends reference. Maybe now the algorithms just think that I like Friends because I've talked about it on air and my phone is telling everybody.
Probably.
There was a podcast or whatever with I just got a clip of it. I don't even know what podcast it was. But it was Phoebe, whoever plays Lisa Kudrow. And she talked about right before Friends aired, the show, like the showrunner or the producer or whatever, sent the stars, the 6 friends, to Vegas and basically said, enjoy it. This is the last time you're going to be able to like walk around Vegas and not have people hounding you. Like you're not going to be able to go to dinners anymore. Like enjoy this because this show is going to be huge. Because I guess everybody behind the scenes knew it and it was true. I feel like Jarvis, I hope he went to Vegas like 4 months ago. I hope he put a hat on and some sunglasses and went and walked around in a lot of public places. Because from this point forward, as soon as he walks in with that goatee, that body type, that little jovial bounce to his walk, it's gonna be NHL fans tracking him down. He's that kind of star. That's number 2. Let's get to number 3.
Number 3.
NC State went on the road to Notre Dame, and they lost 36-7. Now let's put context on it. Let's put some context on it. They were down 10-7 at half. Does that make you better or worse that you lose 36-7? Being down just 10-7 at half, because obviously that means you lost the second half 26-0. Maybe you think you proved to yourself that you can hang with them, and then you didn't live up to those expectations in the second half. Here's the way I look at it. And I actually have some receipts on this because I was doing some radio while this game was going on. It was 10-7 at half, and I was asked, is State on upset alert? And I had the game on in front of me, and I had the stats up in front of me, and I said I wouldn't guess it. Do you know why? Because Hollywood Smothers had 8 carries for 25 yards on the ground at half. And I said, and I mean, unless there's something drastically different coming out of the NC State run game in the second half, there is the metaphorical ticking time bomb until Notre Dame pulls away. Because they need, when they are playing against really good teams, and Notre Dame is a really good team. You can debate where they are in that kind of ranking of really good teams, but they're a really solid, good team. State needs the running game. Kind of desperately. They need to give their defense a chance to rest more often. They need to give C.J. Bailey and that pass game something to play off of. And that's why Hollywood Smothers, in their best games, has been really, really impactful. And part of that is on the offensive line. I'm not putting it all on Smothers. I'm just, obviously, he's the one that gets the stats next to his name for rushing yards. But they needed more. And when I looked at the stats at half, saw the 25 yards on 8 carries, I went, just a matter of time. State's doing their best to hold it off right now, and it's a matter of time. And sure enough, in the second half, C.J. Carr started getting some things going, the quarterback for Notre Dame, and it ended up being a 26-0 second half with turnovers, and it as things do when the avalanche starts going against you, when the momentum starts going against you, it got out of hand there. And that's what I think the rest of the season is going to be about for NC State. If you look at their schedule, it's more difficult in the second half than it is in the first.
It's brutal. They
get Pitt, who, by the way, just upset Florida State. That's becoming less impressive by the minute.
And they got to play Florida State.
True. The last two, obviously, Florida State and UNC, at different times in the last 4 months, people thought they were going to be good. But there's that stretch of Georgia Tech, number 12 in the country, Miami, number 2 in the country. That follows Pitt, and they're going to have to run the ball. That's what it all comes down to. They're going to have to run the ball. And I like their passing game. They're going to have to run the ball. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We will continue to react to the weekend that was and look to the future. How do the games from over the weekend for the Canes and the Panthers impact their future? Well, that's coming up next. We're going to talk Carolina Panthers 30, Dallas 27. Are the Panthers for real? We do our best to answer that question next.
Hey, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan for my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I've been with the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center for about 10 weeks now. I've lost 40 pounds. 40 pounds lost in 10 weeks thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center. And there's so many things about my life that have just improved simply by the weight that I've lost. I'm sleeping a lot better. I'm feeling a lot energetic. I go out and play sports or ride my motorcycle. Just a lot less pressure on my hips, knees, and ankles. My body literally feels 10 years younger thanks to the weight that I've lost over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center and their program. And the one thing I appreciate about the Raleigh Weight Loss Center program is the fact that they also want you to maintain that goal weight as well. It's not just getting down to that target weight. They want you to keep it there. That's why you got to give them a call, 919-897-7506, or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com and set up a free 15-minute phone call with them. A free 15-minute phone call. That way they can answer any of the questions that you have. RaleighWeightLossCenter.com or 919-897-7506. 919-897-7506. Results may vary.
Waking up, getting ready, sitting in traffic. Let's face it, getting to work in the morning is a lot of work. But when you get a great deal on your favorite McDonald's coffee, becoming a morning person is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Now get any size refreshingly cold iced coffee for $1, a delicious mocha for $2, and a frappe for $3. Available only during breakfast hours. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
To snap. Martin puts it down. Fitzgerald swings the leg. The kick is good. And the Panthers win it. Ryan Fitzgerald, the game-winning field goal. Carolina 30, Dallas 27. Sweet Caroline indeed.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. That is what it sounded like when the Panthers got the win over the Dallas Cowboys, 30-27. Are the Panthers for real? Dennis, what's your phrase about like moments versus longevity? I forget what the...
Everyone is capable of having a great moment, but is that who you consistently are?
Everybody's capable of having a great moment. So even teams like, you know, the worst version of the Panthers last 4 or 5 years, they have a good game, right? They can have a good run. They can have a good quarterback play for a period, a stretch. Consistency is what we judge teams by. Panthers won 3 of their last 4. Is that consistent enough? Is that enough? Is that making it happen? Is that making it for real? Dave Canales earlier today was asked if the Panthers have learned who they are through 6 weeks.
Yeah, and that picture kind of keeps changing. You know, we've been affected by injuries with different people, coming to us, and of course this week we're going to have a few more guys that are going to have an opportunity to come help us, and trying to find that chemistry. But it's finding the styles of runs, it's finding the style of pass game that's going to work for us, and as far as the defense goes, same thing. It's finding the coverages and pressures that work for us, scheme wise, to play off of each other and swarm the football like we expect, and. I'm seeing that part come together, but I think the picture still isn't crystal clear. We're still waiting for some guys to continue to make bigger impacts, things that we expect them, to grow in and to help us with.
Their identity. Do they know who they are? I know who they want to be. And the last 2 weeks, they've been able to be that. And that is the best part about the last 2 weeks. And for like old school Panther fans, it's who you want them to be too. Defense and running the football. Defense and running the football. Stopping the run and pounding the rock. That's what they've been the last 2 weeks. Shout out Rico Dowdle. Shout out Derek Brown. Shout out stopping the run and running the football. Most important part of yesterday's game, like they would be playing on a night game. Although maybe now they won't get flexed out of Monday Night Football on week 12. They might be good enough. most important part of the Panthers' win yesterday is they never got behind 2 scores. You go back and listen to our show on Friday. I'll put my hand up. We spent too much time on it. I spent a ton of time on what they would have to do when they fell behind 2 scores. How would they get back? Could they lean on Bryce once they got behind 2 scores? Once they're behind 14? Once they're behind 10? Because Dallas's offense can score, and you need to be able to keep up, and it's going to be push and pull. They never got behind more than 7. Early bad turnover, Tetero McMillan. George Pickens going bananas pretty much consistently. Right? All of the adversity they faced, they were never behind more than 7 points, which allowed them to stay who they wanted to be. Canales was able to stay committed to the running game. They were able to continue feeding Rico, Dowdle, who, by the way, over the last 2 games, it's like it's 93 Emmitt Smith out there. He's getting old school running back usage.
30 carries yesterday.
30 carries. It was like 63 touches over the last 2 weeks. That's 1994 if I've ever heard it. But you can stay that committed when you're staying in the game, when you're picking up chunk yardage, when you don't trust, or don't believe, I should say, that the opposing team offense is going to run up the score on your defense. Rico Dowdle had, 34 touches? 34 touches. None of them negative yardage. None of them stuffed at the line for a loss of half a yard. No, every single one positive yardage. 34 touches. That allows you to be what I believe the Panthers want to be, which is a team that can ask Bryce Young to make plays when convenient, rather than asking Bryce Young to make plays when everyone in the building knows he has to. They can set up defenses to be surprised by the passing game. They can be creative. They can use all of their weapons. But to do that, 2 things have to be true. You have to be able to consistently run the ball, and you have to be able to play great defense. And the Panthers did both of those the last 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks, the defense against the opposing team's run game has been, I don't even want to say varsity against JV. It's been varsity against freshman squad. It's been varsity against middle school. Opposing teams have not been able to run against the Carolina Panthers. And maybe it just took a month for Derek Brown to settle in and make his influence felt, but it has been dramatic these last 2 games. They have played great against the run. So ironically, all those questions that I had about the team on Friday probably are still true. There's still questions that haven't been answered, which is what do you do when you have a better opposing offense than the Dolphins and you get yourself in a hole? But best case scenario, you never have to answer those questions, right? Best case scenario, your plan A is so good that you never get to plan B or plan C. That's what they've done the last 2 weeks, and if that's what they're able to do, keep it rolling. There's nothing that says you can't do it against the Jets this week, and then the Bills come in, and you got to deal with the Bills. That's a different beast. But take it one game at a time. Take it one game at a time. The optimism of it all is. Quite frankly, you've been dealing with some injuries up front. You're still able to run the ball, which bodes well for the scheme, bodes well for the depth you have up front. And we do have to talk about Rico Dowdle outside of the scheme, outside of everything else. Because I will put the context on there that all the haters want to put out there, which is this. The Miami Dolphins pass game is not great. Or sorry, I don't know why I said pass game. Well, that's true too, but that's not what I was talking about. Their run defense, not great.
No, not good at all.
Dallas's run defense, Dallas's defense as a whole, not very good.
Pretty bad.
But it's not like Rico Dowdle had good games. He had the best 2-week stretch a running back has had for the Carolina Panthers pretty much in history.
Ever. Yeah. He set a franchise record for yards from scrimmage just yesterday, 239. 206 yards rushing against the Dolphins was the second highest in franchise history. Tied with Jonathan Stewart, only 4 behind D'Angelo Williams.
So
no one's done this in a Panther uniform.
And they've played bad run defenses.
Very bad.
And they've been more committed to the run, and they've had better passing threats, and they've had those matchups come later in the season when other teams more banged up. There have been plenty in the Panthers' history, plenty of matchups that would indicate that the running back should have a good day. None of them put together a 2-week stretch like Rico Dowdle did. And that includes all your favorite running backs. That includes 2019 Christian McCaffrey. That includes Stephen Davis, Deshaun Foster, D'Angelo Williams, Jonathan Stewart, on and on and on and on. Chuba Hubbard. Cam Newton? Never mind. Well, he never did it either, but he was also trying to throw, so he had other things on his plate. Rico Dowdle gives this offense something that they were missing. Now, that's not to say there's not a role for Chuba Hubbard if and when he gets healthy and comes back, but there is no doubt in my mind that Rico Dowdle is the main character in that running game moving forward, or at least he should be. You put up back-to-back 2 hundos on the ground? You put back-to-back games up like that? Nearly 2 hundo on the ground in both. You put back-to-back games like that up, you get to ride the hot hand. It's your job till someone knocks you off that throne. The Carolina Panthers have not been good enough to look at a player on that kind of hot streak and go, thanks, but we're going to go back to this other thing. If they were winning and, there's no doubt in my mind that there are teams out there that could have a backup running back play very, very, very well, and then when the starter came back, they would regulate them or relegate them, I should say, back to their original role. But they would have had some base level of success prior to the backup stepping in that they're comfortable with. Panthers have not had that base level of success. There's a lot to like about the way they played. And a lot of ways they can improve, which – if you trust the coaching staff is actually optimistic, right? If you're winning games and there's obvious ways to get better, that's actually better than winning games and maxing out all of your ability. Isn't it fun? Isn't it fun, Panther fans out there? Talk some trash. Go for it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I had somebody on Twitter, and I appreciate all the interactions on Twitter. I had a bunch of fun Canes and Panthers talks online this weekend. But I asked if they were real, and I was kind of joking, and I was making all these Panther quips, and they said, well, let's see how they do against the Bills in 2 weeks and then get back to me. My response was, you think I'm passing up 2 weeks of excitement and optimism just to potentially be railroaded by the Buffalo Bills? No. This is prime celebration time. You can ask me maybe some of those questions on Tuesday or Wednesday, but we have 24-hour celebration rule around here, and we're enjoying this one. There's no, hey, guess what? Let's go to the beach. It's beautiful outside. Yeah, but it might rain on Friday. No. We're going to the beach. We're having a good time.
We're swimming today.
Panthers won against the Dallas Cowboys. Maybe no more fun franchise in the world to beat and send home. Jerry, by the way, he speaks after every game to the media. Mm-hmm. Guess what he didn't do? He didn't speak to the media after they lost to the Carolina Panthers. That's the silence. That's what athletes talk about, where they say it's great to do something really, really good in your home arena and hear the eruption, but it's probably a little bit more satisfying to do something great in someone else's arena and hear the silence.
Oh, yeah.
It's good to beat the Cowboys and have Jared Jones go talk to the media and complain and talk about all the things that went wrong. It's better to beat the Cowboys and have Jared Jones be silent. Just absolute quiet. That's the good stuff right there. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we get to the Dean's List, and it's a good one today, as it often is on Mondays, Dennis Cox has something he'd like to tell you.
I do. Dennis Cox from my good friends over at Law Tigers. Folks, speaking of something that's always good and a nice sound is hopping on the motorcycle and riding. That's always a good sound. That's something I always enjoy. But I do know at this time of year with the weather, the way that it's turning. It was wet a little bit this weekend. All the fall colors are going to be starting to be here soon. We see a lot more leaves on the road, see a lot more pine needles on the road. And this not only applies to motorcycle riders, but drivers as well. That can impact your traction out there on the road. So make sure you're safe when you're out there on the roads. Don't try and take turns too tight. Don't try and take turns too fast. Make sure you are safe out there on the road. But if you are injured in a motorcycle accident, you have to give Law Tigers a call at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS even before you get in touch with the insurance companies. Because here's the thing about insurance companies. Let's be honest, they don't want to give you much of anything. They want to give you the least amount possible. We've all dealt with insurance companies before in some way, shape, or form. Where Law Tigers, they're part of the motorcycle riding community. They know what your bike is worth. They know what your gear is worth. But most importantly, they understand the dangers of the road and what it's like to go through an accident. That's why your case evaluation with Law Tigers is always free, and you don't have to pay a dime until your case settles. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, gets to the Dean's List next, where somebody who you might not expect made SportsCenter Top 10. Stick around.
It's bow time. Fumbling the food on game day? Rookie move. But you know Bo can make your tailgate a winner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor, fluffy, scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you can say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's Tailgate Special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles Tailgate Special, and go. It's bow time.
When it comes to excellence, sometimes one name says it all. Sound Station and Security.
That's not one name.
True, but Sound Station and Security does so much, our name can't contain it all. We're famous for home theaters, automotive audio and video, and we do full service for your vehicle. Alignments, inspection, oil changes, window tints, custom exhaust.
Is there an acronym for all that?
Don't even try. Just remember Sound Station and Security. In Raleigh, Smithfield, and at myhotsound.com.
As a fan, you know all the important sports cliches. And when you save money by bundling your home and auto with Progressive, you can get out there and give it 110%, even though that's mathematically impossible. And remember, failure is not an option. Well, it's always an option, just not a good one. But you're not worried because you've got ice in your veins. You're on fire. How can both of those things be true at the same time? Well, that's between you and your doctor. So get out there and leave it all on the field. Leave what? Who cares? Just leave it and save with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Member Week is back at Lowe's with big savings for pros. Now through October 15th, My Lowe's Pro Rewards members get up to 40% off hundreds of items like paint, tools, building materials, and more. Plus, get free standard shipping. Shop these exclusive member-only savings before they're gone. Not a rewards member? Join for free today. Free standard shipping not available in Alaska and Hawaii. Exclusions and more terms apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
At the Irish 45, Bailey uncorks one, right sideline, it is caught, touchdown NC State! There's a 45-yarder down the far sideline!
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Don't forget, we are less than an hour from a Monday Soundoff. You just heard NC State highlight against Notre Dame over the weekend. Weren't a ton of those, particularly in the second half. If you want to sound off on that or anything else, Panthers, Canes, your favorite team, if it's not local, we'll even entertain that. You get to drive the show. We're opening up the phone lines at 4:15. Heister Automotive Group hotline will be open at 4:15, so make sure you're tuned into the show, like I said, in a little less than an hour. In the meantime, how about a little Dean's List? So this morning, I'm up early, got the young one, 2 kids. My daughter's waking us up early. And I go downstairs and I'm all right. If I'm going to be up, might as well throw on SportsCenter, right? Old school, like I'm waiting to go to the bus. Put on SportsCenter, top 10 pulls up. Avery Oder, I believe her name is. Duke women's soccer freshman. Pops up during the SportsCenter top 10. Rips it from deep. Goes crossbar, back of goalie, net.
Nice.
That's like an and one mixtape tour move. Right? That's bouncing it off their head, putting it between their legs, and then dunking. I was just watching. I was like, I got to write all this down. I don't even know where she was in the top 10 because as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's it. There you go. She's making the Dean's List. That was awesome. And then once I looked it up on just the roster to make sure I had her name right, boom, freshman? Some were calling her a phenom. It's cool. SportsCenter top 10 is forever something I hold like in very, very high esteem. If you make SportsCenter top 10, I'm going to put you on the Dean's List. More Dean's List. Kurt Cignetti, Indiana head football coach. And here's why. They beat Oregon at Oregon, right? So Oregon number 3 in the country. That's a big win after
a massive win. After
last year, Indiana was told so many times that their schedule wasn't tough enough, and that's why they won all these games. In the 2 years, meaning last year and this year, that Cignetti's been running the Indiana program, they've lost twice. Both of those teams played in the national championship game. They lost to Ohio State in the regular season last year, and they lost to Notre Dame during the playoffs, and that's it. Undefeated this year. The reason why he makes the Dean's List is because, as we've seen, with a whole bunch of coaches being hired and fired across the country and in our own neck of the woods the last 4 or 5 years, Cignetti has made expectations unrealistic for coaches taking over a new program. Now every time somebody like Belichick or somebody like really anybody says, it's the first year, relax, we got to get better, it's going to take time. There's the ultimate. It took Cignetti like 2 months, and they were the best team Indiana's had in years, if not ever. What's taking you so long? And it's like, well, Cignetti's probably the outlier, but he's making it difficult for the rest of us. He's just doing a good job. Dennis, do you have some Dean's Listers?
I do.
Let's hear it.
Duke, Louisville, UNC, all ranked in the AP top 25. Also, NC State, the first team receiving votes, so I guess you could say 26 in the country as well. But yes, Duke preseason AP top 25 came in at number 6. Louisville, number 11. North Carolina right there at number 25.
Lowest North Carolina's been in a preseason poll in a long time.
Very, very long time.
I think we'll have more reaction to that probably tomorrow, just because there's so many games to react to today, but really interesting list on the AP. Really interesting list.
And again, NC State finished with 101 points on the poll.
In the also receiving votes
category. In the also receiving votes category, only 3 points back of North Carolina. Bulletin board material?
For which one?
Yes.
I assume
For both.
I assume
Why not?
I assume Will Wade is. I don't know if Hubert Davis is. I think Hubert Davis is more of a block out the noise. Who cares what they say? Will Wade is like, this is what they think of you. Your honor has been disrespected.
Feels like Will Wade. Turn it to 11.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
They put you at 26. I wish they put you at 35. Like, why are you yelling at me, Coach? I didn't vote. More Dean's Listers. Yeah. I think maybe behind closed doors they get after a little bit. I have 3 former players. One from each of the 3 schools in the triangle that play in the ACC that had big games over the weekend or made large accomplishments over the weekend. Drake May, former UNC quarterback. Big day for the Patriots, 18-26, 261 yards, 3 touchdowns. Also had a long touchdown and then a beautiful down-the-field pass to the right sideline, called back for what I would call phantom penalties. He's 4th in the NFL in passer rating. 4th in passer rating. The second-year player on a roster that ain't that impressive. You want to hear an NFL stat? For my stat heads out there? Drake May is one of 4 quarterbacks ever in the NFL to, at the age of 23 or younger, have 200 passing yards and 100-plus passer rating in 5 straight games. You want to hear the other 3? gentleman by the name of Dan Marino. Then people forget how hot this guy was, like on a hot streak he was as a rookie. Dak Prescott and Patrick Mahomes. That's it. Those four are the only ones to go for 200 or more yards and 100 or higher passer rating in 5 straight games, along with Drake May. So he makes it. UNC, they were actually tweeting about it this time. So good on them for supporting their guy. Daniel Jones, former Duke quarterback, makes the Dean's List representing the Blue Devils. You ready for a stat for my stat heads out there? I'm talking like almost exclusively to stat heads right now. The Colts have scored 194 points through 6 games. You know what's crazy about that? It's the most any Colts team has ever scored through the first 6 games of a season. I don't know if you remember, they had a quarterback that traditionally came firing out of the gates offensively. His name was Peyton Manning. Take that, Peyton!
I've heard of him.
That is wild. Remember when Dave Cutcliffe was the coach and Peyton and Eli used to come back and they'd, pass along a few pearls of wisdom to the quarterbacks? Peyton's going like, well, maybe I shouldn't have given so much to Daniel Jones. He was going to show up and start racing my team from the record books. Daniel Jones playing really well. He's going to make himself a lot of money. And lastly, for NC State, couldn't go to the quarterback route, although Jacoby Brissett did play, just didn't do anything electric. So they're back to having, Russell's bench. And they're back to having guys playing quarterback. I went with Drake Thomas, former NC State linebacker, now with the Seattle Seahawks.
That's right.
9 tackles and a sack versus the Jaguars.
Look at him.
This is a guy who, through his first 27 games in the NFL, had 10 tackles total. Now he's throwing out 6+ weekly.
Hey, he was a special teams player.
Yeah, just happy to be out there. Now he's 9 tackles and a sack. The tackles will keep you in your coach's good graces. The sacks will keep you on rosters for a long, 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 long time. Credit to Drake Thomas, former state linebacker.
Real quick, I will also throw in not only Drake May,
Daniel Jones,
Drake but Thomas. Also Drake Thomas, put Rico Dowdle into the mix. All 4 of those guys went to high school in the state of North Carolina.
Okay. I mean, there's
North Carolina high schools Dean's List.
I assume hold on, let me make sure I know where he's actually from.
Rico Dowdle went to AC Reynolds High School.
Bam Knight got a random start with the Arizona Cardinals.
That's right.
Scored a touchdown. Yeah. That was one where James Conner got hurt. They told us it was going to be Trey Benson. Yeah. Trey Benson gets hurt. They told us it was going to be Emari DeMarcado. He gets hurt. Michael Carter is there, who's a UNC guy. Mm-hmm. And then for whatever reason on Sunday, they're like, never mind, it's going to be Bam Knight. And then he and Michael Carter actually ended up splitting time. So Bam Knight with a random running back touchdown.
So I guess we also can throw in there just random triangle football connections because Bam Knight, Michael Carter, State and Carolina. Then Daniel Jones is throwing touchdowns to Josh Downs. That's Duke to Carolina.
That's true. There's a lot. I didn't get to them all. I mean, what did Mac Hollins do for the Patriots? He wasn't one of them that caught a touchdown, but he's a character up there. Javonte Williams kind of bottled up, but he was bottled up by the Carolina Panthers. So that was your connection to Carolina wasn't as strong as the Panthers' connection to Carolina, so you got outdone there. When he goes and plays against non-Carolina connections, then he's been one of the best running backs in the NFL this year. We mentioned Brissett got a start. There's a lot of stuff going on here. That's the Dean's List. That was a fun Dean's List. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending, home of the no-cost loan. Don't buy down points on your mortgage, right? You're getting your mortgage, you see a mortgage rate, and your eyes go wide, and you go, ooh, I don't know. And then you get the X amount of dollars, this big fat check right up front, and it'll lower that rate. It'll lower your monthly payments. And get this, and then they give you some number, 8 years into the future, you'll be breaking even. And then for the 22 years to finish out your 30-year mortgage, you'll be in the money. But here's the dirty little secret some don't want you to know. The average mortgage in this country, you hold it for about 4 years. And it's been that way for decades, right? So make sure you know where that break-even point is if you're buying down your mortgage, buying down your rate. And instead, consider this. calling up Miller Lending and getting a no closing cost mortgage, no cost loan. What that means is rather than paying extra upfront to buy down your rate, get your rate and pay nothing up front other than the down payment, right? But you're not putting all that extra costs and fees and surcharge down in cash. Instead, you keep that cash. It can help you maybe survive the early part of a rate that's a little higher than you want. But when rates fall, if they fall in 6 months, in 12 months, in 2 years, whenever they do, refinance with Miller Lending, get the lower monthly rate, the lower monthly fee, and again, do it with no cost, no fees, no money out of your pocket. That's how Miller Lending allows you to be flexible and adaptable enough to take advantage of a volatile market. Give them a call to learn more. It's 919-447-3377. I almost went into our number there, so I'm going to say this one closely. 919-447-3377, or visit them online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146. We'll take a break. When we come back, winners and losers. Who's been winning and who's been losing the last week? Stick around.
Hey, girl. Haven't seen you downtown lately.
Nope, sticking to our go-to places.
You mean like Sharky's?
Well, we love our Sharkies. Best wings and gumbo on the planet. But we never miss the $5 sangrias on Wednesdays at the new Salt and Lime, and Mexican pints on Thursdays for $3.
You know, my boy loves the House of Hops. No better selection of craft beer in the state. Loves their specials, their food trucks, and you know I love my wine. They have a wonderful selection.
And have I told you about our new takeout spot, Che Empanadas? It's right next to Sharky's. They have 20 different types of authentic Argentinian empanadas, and they are incredible, especially the breakfast ones. You gotta try it.
Sounds perfect. And how awesome is it that they're so close to each other?
Oh, it's perfect, all right.
Give them a try. Che Empanadas, House of Hops, Salt and Lime, and Sharky's. Just a hop, skip, and a jump from each other off Durham Road, Glenwood, and Grove Barton.
It's open enrollment. Time to choose a plan that includes Wake Med, the leading provider of healthcare services in Wake County. On the exchange, choose a plan that includes Wake Med. Looking for a Medicare plan? Choose one that includes Wake Med. Got a company plan? Make sure Wake Med is in it. Learn more at wakemed.org. After all, it's your health, your choice, and you're about to make a very good decision.
Is your whole home operating at peak performance? With Newcomb & Company, your independent trained dealer, proudly serving our community for over 70 years. As a Comfort contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs, including repairs and replacements for faucets, toilets, piping, garbage disposals, water heaters, drain cleaning, and more. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Adam Gold in studio with my friend Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. A lot of people have work to do on their homes. They need a roof. They want windows, siding. You guys do everything. But people are also, I'm not sure I can afford it. The Aluminum Company is a great place to go. Tell us why.
Well, tons of times I'll go out to people's houses and they're thinking about doing a bunch of home improvements at once. Siding, roofing, windows are a big package, right? And the first thing they think of is, well, I'm going to need to go get an equity line or a second mortgage. One of the things we have is tons of financing options where you don't even need to go to your bank. We can do that in-house for you and run payment options for you. And lots of times the financing that we offer is a better percentage rating than you can get from your bank, and you don't have to go through all that mess to get to it.
I like that. Also, is there 12 months, zero interest?
12 months, zero interest, zero payments for 12 months.
Zero payments and zero interest at the same time for 12 months.
That is correct.
That is a double header right there. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, online, aluminumcompany.com.
Throwaway, and here comes Robinson showing his speed. Robinson centering it. They score! Taylor Hall! Oh, mercy! What a goal set up by Robinson, and Hall with the finish. We're tied at 2.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Winners and losers time here on The Drive, so let's go ahead and not waste time.
This team will never lose again.
The first winner it could have been in addition to our Dean's List, but shout out to Brent on our on Twitter who reached out to us and said we were listing all the local Carolina ties in the NFL. Apparently, Cameron Johnson, who caught one of the touchdowns for the Bucs, one of the wide receivers there, Northern Nash and Barton, first Barton player in the NFL, according to Brent.
Okay, yeah.
Barton, college football, member of the Conference Carolinas.
It's right out there in Wilson.
I'm going to be honest. This is a quick story. First of all, Baker Mayfield, legit. Like, you just got to respect it. Mike Evans hurt. Chris Godwin hurt. Emeka Egbuka left with a hamstring. He looks like he's going to be out for a little bit. Jalen McMillan hurt. So his first 4 wide receivers are hurt. He throws a touchdown to what I learned was Cameron Johnson. I thought that was Tez Johnson. All right, so I was like, oh, good, Tez Johnson, Oregon guy, made the catch. Nice. And then I'm paying attention later, and I'm looking up stats, and I go, K Johnson? That wasn't Tez? That's weird. Who's Cameron Johnson? Then I looked up right as Baker Mayfield was throwing a touchdown to Tez Johnson. I was like, what is going on right now? Who are all these people? But shout out to Cameron Johnson, makes the winners of the winners and losers. Now for my more traditional winners and losers. Losers, Titans. They fired Brian Callahan today, their head coach. And really, they're representative of so many. Why can't any NFL team learn from the other team's mistakes? The last 4 quarterbacks that were taken number 1 overall have seen their head coach fired during their rookie campaign. Trevor Lawrence, Urban Meyer. Bryce Young, Frank Reich. Caleb Williams, Matt Eberflus. Cam Ward, Brian Callahan. I can't emphasize this enough. Get somebody as your head coach that you will go through at least one fire with, that you will be a little loyal to before you draft the quarterback. Because now what's going to happen? Cam Ward is going to get somebody else taken over, right? So he's going to be under 2 regimes in his rookie year. Then they're going to hire somebody else. He's going to have 3 head coaches through his first 2 years minimum. That's not good for developing a young quarterback, as we've seen with a whole bunch of others. And the Titans are like, oh, I don't pay attention. So we did it. We wanted to blaze it. We were going to be different. You're not. You're not different. Winner? Jake Dickert? Wake Forest is doing a really solid job this year and came in with like no expectations in Jake Dickert's first year. They're 4-2, which, by the way, I still stand by it. I know I don't like judging the refs too aggressively, but the Georgia Tech guy was offsides. I'm just like, it was at the end of the game. If it's offsides, they win. Easily could be 5-1 with a win over a top 25 team. They beat Oregon State by a bunch with their quarterback out. Robbie Ashford was out, so Deshaun Purdy steps in, lights him up. And then side win for Jake Dickert, Ben Arbuckle, his old offensive coordinator, and John Mateer, his old quarterback that transferred or left and went to Oklahoma, and he went to Wake. They laid an egg versus Texas. So, Dickert's sitting there like, it was me. I was the secret sauce for you guys, whether it's true or not. Dennis, do you have some winners and losers?
I do.
Let's hear 'em.
I have a winner. Mike Vrabel. Tennessee, why'd you get rid of the guy? He goes up to New England. Now he's having success, and believe it or not, he's actually a good coach, and you have one all along, but you let him go to get hire a guy that you fired not even a season and a half. So yeah, Mike Vrabel, winner.
Correct. If I'm not mistaken,
you have a good coach, keep one, folks.
Okay, yes, this is true. The Patriots are 4-2, correct?
They are.
And so here's the funny part. The Titans fired Mike Vrabel, hired Brian Callahan. Mike Vrabel took a year off, did not coach. He started coaching this year. He and Brian Callahan have the same amount of wins. Callahan got the full extra year. He went 4-19 taking over for Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel is 4-2 having taken over the Patriots. Yeah, I'd say Vrabel's a winner. I have a winner and a loser in one person. He is both a winner and a loser. Actually, I should correct the order. Loser and a winner. Teteroa McMillan. He gave the Cowboys an interception. Just gift wrap, put it on a platter, handed it to him. I'll say it as I've said it a few times. He should lead the league in catches out of the jugs machine after practice for the rest of the year. He should have a 250 per day jugs machine. I'm still a huge fan of his, and I still think he's going to be really good, and I think he's going to settle in somewhere between somewhere like a Mike Evans, AJ Green style career. I think he's really, really gosh darn good.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Not at all. He drops too many passes. You work so hard to get open. Just catch the pass. And then, of course, the touchdown, the deeper one, not the little short one, that route, watch the safety. Lost. Iverson crossover, catch touchdown. So then he caught 2 touchdowns to make up for it. I'm fine with that. That's why he's the winner second. But he was a loser first. That drop can't happen. We had a bunch of weird ones coming up here. Loser. I will go with a loser. NFL refs.
Okay.
So many bad high-profile missed calls over the weekend. And I thought it was funny because, like, every fan base thought it was only happening to them.
Of course.
Panthers got called for a bad roughing the passer and then a bad DPI. Now, they won the game, so, you kind of move on and forget. But those can't happen. Patriots had a long touchdown and a long third down conversion just taken away for phantom calls. And then watch the Lions were penalized 4 times, including like a delayed flag to take away Jared Goff's receiving touchdown because he didn't pause after stepping out from under center.
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs weren't penalized the entire game.
That's kind of wild.
In a sport that is universally known as, you could call holding on every play, they went an entire game without being penalized, and the Lions were having like powwows after the play to drop a flag to take a touchdown away. It was just bad optics all the way around. So NFL refs, they do a little better.
We have a user submitted.
Oh, I like it. Let's hear
this.
it.
Our good friend Micah on our YouTube live chat says, winner, Shane Gostisbehere. Had a pretty strong start to the season through the first couple of games. Loser, Chuba Hubbard. Man, watching the guy that came in, supposed to be your backup, going out there and light it up.
Yeah, like Chuba Hubbard in his private thoughts.
Yeah, right.
Publicly, I'm just happy the run game's going well. I'm just happy everybody's cranking. Privately, gosh darn it. Stupid injury. One more winner here, just because it needs to be said. The Charlotte Hornets. Huh?
The Charlotte Hornets.
They beat Cooper Flagg and the Mavs in the preseason.
Let's go.
120-116. Whole starting 5 plus Con Knipple off the bench in double figures. Made it happen. Side winner, Cooper Flagg. He looked good. Somehow Cooper Flagg looks bigger on an NBA court amongst NBA players than he did in college. He looked like more outlandishly tall and lanky.
Well, the thing is at Duke, their starting lineup was bigger than an average NBA starting lineup, so that makes sense then. He's around smaller people.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's absurd, but yes, it might be correct. He looked really good. He had a couple times where he was just like, I'm going to shoot the next 4 times down the court, and then he scored 3 or 4 out of the 4. In a loss, though, the Charlotte Hornets. That's why you're only a side winner. You're not the main winner.
The Charlotte Hornets.
Do you have any more you'd like to add, Dennis, before the top of the hour?
I don't.
All right, perfect. I have more. I was going to say Trent Dilfer, loser.
Okay.
He got fired from UAB.
Oh, he did.
And I went back and looked at some of the comments from when he was hired, where he was promising to be competing for college football playoffs and things at Alabama Birmingham. Not Alabama. Alabama Birmingham.
Oh.
So, just over-promise, under-deliver style stuff going on there. But I won't say that one. That one won't get used. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. By the way, text keyword CAR, C-A-R, to 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to the Xfinity 500 at Martinsville Speedway in Virginia, coming up the 26th of this month. Coming up quick. Nice. Again, keyword CAR. You're excited about that.
I mean, NASCAR events are just fun.
That's
racing
true.
events are just fun to attend to. You don't have to be a NASCAR fan or a racing fan to still enjoy the experience of going to a race.
I agree with that. Everybody they're having a good time.
Yeah.
You show up ready to roll.
Great people watching.
Text keyword CAR, C-A-R, to 919-860-5326 for your chance to win the pair of tickets to the Xfinity 500 at Martinsville Speedway. We have football at 4 coming up next. Panthers win, running game offense, defense great. What about Bryce Young? Let's have that conversation next.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here from my friends at Buffalo Brothers. During hockey season, I'm bouncing from coast to coast like a puck on ice. But when I'm back in town, I always head to Buffalo Brothers for the best wings on the planet. And check this out. Now they have a new flavor, chili lime. You can't beat the great specials at all 5 Triangle locations, like half-price pizzas, Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6. You can dine in or carry out. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
Stay informed with The Rundown, the daily newsletter from High School OT that delivers high school sports news and insights straight to your inbox. Brought to you by High School OT and powered by our sponsors, First Carolina Bank and Smith Douglas Homes. Subscribe to The Rundown at highschoolot.com.
Fall is here, and so are the savings at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. During our Drive into Fall event, get 20% off any new 2025 Ram 1500. That's right, 20% off one of the toughest trucks on the road. Nothing stops Ram. Or take advantage of 0% APR for 72 months. See dealer for details. You choose how you save, so get off your keister and get to Heister. No one in this area has a better selection to choose from. John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's the final shot at the Championship 4. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Martinsville Speedway, October 23rd through the 26th. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Middle of the day on your Monday, temperatures mid-60s with highs today near 70 degrees, breezy at times. Partly cloudy overnight with lows in the mid-50s. Then more sunshine Tuesday, warmer with highs in the mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Chris Michaels in the WRAL Severe Weather Center.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones this afternoon at the closing bell, up 588 points to 46,067.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. 15 minutes from now, we are opening up the phone lines for a Monday Soundoff. Whatever you want to talk about, we're here to have that conversation. Heister Automotive Group hotline will be open at 4:15. If you want to bookmark the phone number, 919-860-5326. For right now, we're talking Bryce Young. I'm going to be completely honest. Doesn't that sound like I'm setting you up for something mean?
Yeah.
Bryce was really good.
Best game he's had all season.
And when you include all of the context, situation, adversity, the mental hurdle or mental obstacle, I don't even know what you call it, mental wrench in the system that is making a good throw and having an interception early, which is what happened when it went through the hands of Tedero McMillan and intercepted. When you take all of that into account and you look at how efficient he played and how he protected the football, I may put it top 1 in his career. Right? The Atlanta game at the end of last year obviously has more flashy stats, but the stakes were nearly nothing, right? And
yeah, you knew you weren't going anywhere after that game.
You weren't going anywhere, and it was not only were you not going anywhere, you were going to a golf course or a fishing trip or a vacation.
Yeah, that's true.
Like it was a completely different situation. Given everything, it may have been the best game of his career. And a win to bring you up to 500 this late in the season for the first time in years in a game where you knew that the opposing team had firepower and Bryce Young played really well. But it helps that Rico Dowdle is running like LaDainian Tomlinson in 2006, right? It helps that you have a guy that you can just, hey, we're never going to be behind the sticks. We're never going to be in 3rd and 14. Right? If we just hand it off to Rico Dowdle, it's 2nd and 6. It's 2nd and 4. It's 3rd and 1. Like, that's so unbelievably nice for a quarterback. And it's so unbelievably nice that you can score 30 and outscore one of the top scoring teams in the entire league while having your quarterback not throw for 200 yards. Threw for 199. 17 completions on 25 attempts, 199 yards. 3 touchdowns, the 1 interception not on him at all. Which, by the way, I said this on social media as soon as it happened, and I stand by it. I'd like the joke around like The Office here is if you get accused of being a homer for all 3 schools in the triangle in the ACC, that probably means we're doing our job all right. Right? When UNC fans are saying, you love State, and when State fans are saying, all you care about is Duke, and when Duke fans are saying, why do you love Carolina so much? It's like, you know what? I think we're somehow in the mix doing a good job here. So I've been accused of being both a Bryce Young, like unbelievable supporter, he can do no wrong, and I've been accused of being a Bryce Young hater, that I dislike him personally and all that. So,
likewise.
So I think we're being honest, right?
Likewise, very much so.
But I have observed that those accusations are thrown out online a lot about Bryce. You're glazing him. Oh, you're standing him, which are all some form of like you love that guy. And then, you aren't even watching. You just don't like him. We can identify the unreasonable haters this week. If you are somebody that absolutely hates Bryce, which, by the way, fandom is sometimes that way, right? Maybe you love Auburn. I don't know. But if you absolutely hate Bryce, you're getting on him about the early turnover. Every game, Bryce Young has to turn it over in the first quarter. It's just what he does. Put the team in the hole. That's not his fault at all, right? He made a good ball. He made a good throw. It was intercepted. Context, right? It's different. Now, I'm not saying like, you take it off his stats, right? Because at some point, Tetairoa McMillan's going to take a ball that probably should have been intercepted, and he's going to make a one-handed catch, and it's going to come out in the wash. But you don't blame somebody for that throw. Bryce, I don't want to say he played a flawless game because that would imply that he did everything right. But what he did was he avoided the big mistakes exceptionally well, and then made the 2 or 3 throws that he had to make to help his team win, right? The Hunter Renfrow closing window in a big moment throw is as good as he could be in that moment. Mm-hmm. As good as he could be in that moment. But when it comes to trying to extrapolate that performance into predicting the future, when it comes to is what he's doing through 6 weeks, is, this little 3 out of 4 winning run that they're on, is what he's doing good enough to instill confidence? I still think there is a part of his game that is missing. And it has to do with volume. When the times your offense, your team looks the best is when you are asked to do the least. That says something about it. If you're beating Dallas and you're beating Miami, and the prerequisite is you have a running game that is amongst the best in the NFL, that says something about your quarterback. And like I said, I think he played ridiculously well. I think they could have gone to him more in this game. Part of it was Dallas has the worst pass defense in the league. Dallas gives up the most touchdowns and the most this and the most that in the league. And he threw for 199 yards. When you got the scouting report this week, if you're a Carolina Panther on the offense, if your offensive coordinator, if your head coach who operates as your offensive coordinator in a lot of ways, is not salivating at the opportunity to have a stat game for your quarterback, that says something. Bryce Young is good enough to win with if you have, a bunch of other things going your way. I still have yet to see the game where there's stakes, where there's a formidable opponent, and you have to put the game on his shoulders. You can put a drive on his shoulder. He's been very good in his career in the last 2 minutes, needing to go 60 yards for a field goal. He's been very good there.
Mm-hmm.
I have yet to see them say at the end of the first quarter, all right, Bryce, we're going to need you for the next 40 minutes. We have yet to see that. And until I do, I'm just going to continue to have questions. Until I do, I'm not giving him any kind of contract extension thoughts. I'm not giving him any kind of, place in the franchise permanently moving forward. I love that you now know pretty well, against a bad defense with the running game cranking and the defense playing well, he can win the football game for you.
That he can.
But that situation is pretty specific, right? I actually, I need to change. I'll do it right now. Change one of my tried and true talking ways that I talk about quarterbacks. I talk about there's two types of quarterbacks. One is inevitable, and one is situational, right? And anytime walking planet Earth, there's only like 4 or 5 inevitable quarterbacks. And what I mean by inevitable is you can put any receivers out there with them. You put whoever's calling the plays, they'll get you in the right play at the line. Or they'll take a bad play and make it great with their special ability. Doesn't matter what's around them, the offense is going to be solid. Then there's situational quarterbacks, and that's pretty much everybody else, which means there's something they need in order to be good. And that's where, like a Baker Mayfield can struggle some places and look like an MVP in others. All right, well, there's something that other situation is giving him that he was missing earlier, right? He's situational. There probably should be tiers to the situation. How many things do you need? Right? Because you could be a really good quarterback who's just slow-footed. All you need is a great interior offensive line, right? Then as long as there's a pocket I can step up into, I'll be great. Think like Carson Palmer, right? I'm not outrun anybody, but if I can step up, we're going to have a pretty good offense. Then there needs to be what if you have 2 situations, right? Well, I need a pretty good defense, and I need good interior offensive line because even when I'm cranking, I can't expect to score 30. I'll give you 24, right? All right, well, that's 2 situations. Now, what if you're a guy who needs a really good number one wide receiver? So when you panic, you have somebody you can throw it up to, and you need a really good defense, and you need a good interior offensive line, and you need this. What's a 5 or 6 situation? Because I think that's where Bryce is right now. He needs to have a running game that's cranking, so he can have those breather plays and settle down, and the sticks can, get a first down to get in rhythm before you start asking him to do things.
Or it's, hey, we can throw on 2nd and 3.
Exactly. You get your first 4 completions knowing if you throw an incompletion, that's fine. Let's pick it up with the run on the next one.
Exactly.
And you need a defense that makes it so. Dallas is a really good scoring offense. They scored 27. Mm-hmm. That's a good amount, but that's not insurmountable, right? You need a defense that's taking even one of the more high-flying offenses and holding them to less than 4 touchdowns. And I do think it's helped him a ton to have a true number 1 wide receiver like Tetairoa McMillan who you can roll with. Bryce being like a 4 situation guy, I'll work on the actual verbiage. We'll have to workshop that. A level 4 situational quarterback, you have to decide if that's good enough. Especially in a world where we don't pay quarterbacks on a sliding scale. Right? It's not there is no $30 million quarterback anymore. You are either a backup making 15 or less, or you are a starter making 45 or more. There is no middle ground there. And if that's the decision, I'm not ready to go to the yes, he's one of the 45 or more $1 million quarterbacks. I'm far from that. But the good news is he's got a more on-ramp. There's no reason to pull him anytime soon. And I'm getting closer to saying pick up his 5th-year option. Not there yet, but I'm getting closer. You don't have to make that decision until the offseason, so don't make it till the offseason. And I do you know what's funny about sports?
What's that?
I think it was the numbers we use are Arabic numerals, right? Mm-hmm. Sometime centuries ago, the whoever made the numerals, right, just count by tens. These round numbers are what they are. It's completely arbitrary, right? Although math will tell you there's reasons for it. 300 passing yards is just a number, right? It's just like a ridiculous threshold. I need to see him throw for 300 yards a few times. You know, the difference between 275 and 310 could be like one screen where they break a tackle and pick it up. I need to see him throw for 300 yards a few times, like within a month. Because the best quarterbacks that I know can do that pretty consistently when they need to. And until they do, I just go, I don't get it. Right? I need to see him throw for 300. It's like 1,000 yards as a running back, right? The difference between 980 and 1,020 is nothing. But it matters, and I don't know why.
And Bryce is, I think, 28th or 29th in the NFL in yards per game passing right now.
And make no mistake about it, some of those earlier games are weighing down some averages. Like when you look at EPA per play, estimated points added per dropback and stuff, like he had some clunkers that you would hope as he plays more consistently good for a long time, those averages will come up. But, yeah, I mean, you're completely right. On the season, he has not been a top half of the league quarterback.
He's been over 200 yards once.
I need to see him get 3. Like, before we even entertain conversations about him, you know, oh, you were wrong in all of your criticisms, which I'll raise my hand when I'm wrong. I was wrong on the Panthers, at least thus far. I'm not conceding I was wrong on Bryce. More conceding I was wrong on the situation around him that can buoy him to, 3 out of 4 wins against some rough teams. And by the way, the Jets they could be described as rough as well. They got another opportunity for a win, this one on the road, which would be their first. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's open up the phone lines. Monday Soundoff, 919-860-5326. And before your calls start getting answered, Dennis has something he'd like to tell you.
I do. Dennis Cox from my good friends over at Law Tigers. Something you're going to see, obviously, this time of year is a lot of motorcycles out there on the road. You might see me. But one thing I noticed out there on the road this morning, riding in, saw a lot of wet leaves, some wet pine needles and all that stuff on the roads. With the weather that we had this weekend, make sure you're safe out there on the road. And that includes drivers as well. Those wet leaves, those wet pine needles, and everything that you see on the road when you're driving, that helps you, it causes you to lose contact with the road. It actually causes you to potentially slip, to hydroplane. All those kinds of things you have to take into consideration when you're out there on the road as both a rider and a driver. But if you are injured in a motorcycle accident, this is where Law Tigers steps in to help you. Give them a call, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, even before you contact the insurance companies. Insurance companies, let's be honest, they want to give you the least amount possible, whereas Law Tigers, they're riders too. They know what your bike and your gear are worth, but also they understand the dangers of the road and what you're going through after an accident. Your case evaluation with them is always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles, but make sure you contact them before you give a written statement to the insurance company. Law Tigers, they're out there to fight for you. Give them a call, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Heister Automotive Group hotline is open for your calls. You get to drive the conversation for a Monday Sound-Off. Call in now, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. If you don't get through the first time, try and try again. Heister Automotive Group hotline and your calls coming up next.
We've got NFL tonight on 99.9 The Fan. Presented by Wake Med.
Showtime, prime time.
Your primetime matchup is an NFC battle.
Hot dog, man.
It's Chicago and Washington.
Dominate on 3. 1, 2, 3, dominate.
Pregame starts at 7.
Here we go.
Kickoff at 8:15.
Put up or shut up time.
On the Triangle's home for the NFL, 99.9 The Fan.
Monday night, you gotta feel it.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Pros don't just show up. They prove how it's done. With precision and without shortcuts. Makita tools are built the same way. With a dedication to lasting quality. Trusted performance and results that reward your effort year after year. When the job calls for the best, call on Makita. Built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
Here's the snap. Bryce to throw. Steps up. Eludes the rush. Throws to the end zone. Touchdown. Tataroa McMillan. The Panthers retake the lead. 26-24. It's T-Mac's second touchdown of the game.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. We have a Monday Soundoff getting ready to kick off. Heister Automotive Group hotline is the number to call, 919-860-5326. I'm looking at the first lineup of callers here. And as I'd expect, we're going to hear a little bit from a few different areas on a few different things, starting with, we'll go Linda in Roanoke, wants to sound off on the Canes. Linda, thank you very much for calling in. Go ahead and sound off.
Absolutely. I want to sound off on the Canes. They are doing great, and especially I want to sound off on Seth Jarvis, my main man, who scored the winning goal the other night.
Linda, is this Debbie's mom, Linda, by any chance?
Yes.
All right. Well, we first of all, we want to pass along all our support and fight and everything you have going on. And then also say you wore your Seth Jarvis jersey, right?
Yes, she took pictures of it the last time she was out to visit me, and she showed them to Dennis. I don't know if you got to see them.
I did. So we'll give you credit for the Seth Jarvis hot streak, right? You threw the jersey on, and all of a sudden he's scoring game-winning goals all over the place. So congratulations on the couple of wins for the Canes.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, let me ask you a question, though. I'm having trouble getting through to you today on my Alexa. Is there any reason you can think of that's a problem?
I don't know. Go ahead and stay on the line, and maybe Dennis can try to figure that out for you, though. Okay. So thank you very much for calling in. Don't hang up. We'll see if there's anything going on. Dennis would know the tech stuff more than I would. All right.
Okay, great. It's good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you as well. Thank you very much, Linda. For those of you that don't know, Linda has, I believe it was cancer, and she's fighting that and uses the Canes as a escape. And obviously they fight hard and play to the whistle and all of that. So she's latched on to that identity that they have, and we're rooting for her, just like we're rooting for everybody else, but a little extra her way. That's Linda in Roanoke. Let's go back to the Heister Automotive Group hotline for a Panthers sound offer on a Monday sound off. We have Derek in Morganton. Derek, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Hey, Tim. Just wanted to say appreciate you and your takes.
Thank you.
I love watching the show, and I love your ability to come up with a metaphor from seemingly anything.
It's the way my brain works. Sometimes can't turn it off.
Yeah.
But appreciate it. What do you have for us to sound off on?
Well, I just wanted to say, also appreciate Chris and Dennis for their takes, and also Adam Gold.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I'll segue from, I think I heard Adam say this morning, and it was kind of a passing remark, but he didn't really hone in on it or elaborate, but he said that he was out on Canales. Now, for me, I I guess the three things I'll talk about is with Canales, Bryce, and then the defense. With Canales, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because we've just never really had an offensive-minded, pass-oriented guy before. With Carolina, that's just not been our DNA. But I truly do feel like that guy is good at he really doesn't have a talent for scheming guys open. And I feel like, with Bryce, we're having to adjust. And Bryce is still young. It's just his third year. But we are having to still be a running team, and which is fine because you want to be you want to have a balanced offense. But so, I would pump the brakes on saying like Canales is, if we don't succeed with Bryce, then it means that Canales also has to go, because it would be interesting to see what the team would look like, what the offense would look like with a guy who's just a stud back there who can make every throw. Because like I said, I feel like, Dave can get guys open. But, segueing that into with Bryce, and I'll kind of say it almost like if Bryce was listening, I would say the things that Bryce is great at and things that are truly admirable about him, he's got great character. You can see, obviously, he's a humble person. He is very low ego, and he's doing all the right things to be a leader. And you can tell just by the locker room, you can tell that locker room wants to win with him, which is the most important thing for a quarterback to have. And you could even see it last year when he got benched. He did all the right things to get the job back.
Derek, I don't want to have to rush you here, but we got a lot of callers here. So what's the point you're trying to make? If you could wrap it up for us.
Well, okay, yeah, sorry. So Bryce, just keep on doing the things that take it one step at a time. Be an elite game manager first, and win. Just limit the turnovers and win. And then shout out to Derek Brown and that D-line. It looks completely different. It looks like a top 10 D-line at home, and let's just go out and beat the Jets.
All right, appreciate it, Derek.
Thank you.
Now, I don't want to speak for Adam, so I don't know what he was saying about Dave Canales and whether he's in or out. So you have to tune into the Adam Gold Show, which you can hear right here on 99.9 The Fan as well. What I'll say about Dave Canales is this. I don't like the idea of moving on from Bryce and keeping Canales almost completely independent of what Dave Canales has done or shown, because the timelines, like we just talked about it earlier, the Titans brought in Brian Callahan and drafted Cam Ward the next offseason. Now they're done with Brian Callahan, and Cam Ward is going to be the one to suffer. And we've seen it with Bryce and Frank Reich, and we've seen it with Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer, and we saw it with Eberflus and Caleb Williams, all first overall picks that lost their coach halfway through the year. If you're going to keep if you're going to keep Dave Canales and move on from Bryce, which is possible, I think you got to commit to at least 2 more years of Dave Canales, regardless of what you see, just to give your quarterback a fighting chance at learning the system and everything else. So unless you're willing to do that, I think it's a bad situation that you just don't want to make worse. 919-860-5326, Heister Automotive Group hotline. Open for your calls. We'll go to Lewis in Moxville, all the way out there in the Triad. Wants to sound off on the Panthers as well. Lewis, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Hey, guys. I'm telling you, after watching that last game, I was really fired up. I was actually at the home opener when we blew out the Falcons, which was always I loved watching them Falcons fans just cycling out of that stadium.
Fair.
But with Bryce and the performance that he had, I think that they found the formula for winning football. Eliminate the run. You'll give up passing plays, bend, don't break. The offense was moving the ball effectively with the run, and you asked Bryce to make 10 to 15 passes a game to open up the field. My question is, with the trade deadline coming up, are there any moves that you think the Panthers will make? I personally think specifically on the defensive side of the ball to elevate this team obviously the Buccaneers are really good, but do you think there's a chance that we could maybe split a game with them and compete for this division?
I appreciate the call, and there's a lot of good questions there. I'll answer as many of them as I can. Thank you for calling in. As far as trades go, the deadline is what, November 5th, something like that, November 4th? I'm not trading anything of future value to give you some kind of like run at a postseason now unless you're undefeated until the trade deadline. Unless this 2-game win streak turns into significantly more. Because I still don't think these Panthers are competing for anything. I mean, if they squeak into the postseason, massive victory. And then even if what I would expect would happen, they're sent home the first weekend or in a blowout the next weekend, you're happy with that. I don't think there's a way where they're trading anything like as the buyer. If they want to be a seller, I'd be interested. Let me paint a picture for you, and Panthers fans will hate what I'm about to paint. So just know it's just a thought exercise. Jets game goes however it goes, right? Win or lose, it's nothing dramatic. Smoked by the Bills, okay, which is, again, within the realm of possibility. Smoked by the Bills, and then right before the trade deadline, smoked by Green Bay. And a contender calls, I don't know, Chiefs, I don't know, Chargers, somebody calls about Rico Dowdle. You got to listen to it. He's on an expiring contract unless you think you're going to keep him around. You're putting a ton of tread on that tire. You got to listen to it, right? Expiring contracts, if you're not looking at a long contendership, you potentially listen. But I'm not buying anything. If they want to be sellers, I think you got to lose a couple games here before you sell. Back to the call-in line. Jonathan in Chapel Hill wants to sound off on the Panthers. So we'll hear another Panthers sound off here. Jonathan, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Hey, guys. Hope your weekend was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
The cardiac cats may be back, at least in a lesser form. Congratulations to raise your hand if you thought they were going to be 3-3.
If anyone who's raising your hands, put it back on the steering wheel for safety and to be honest with yourself, because none of us thought 3-3.
No. So, congrats where congrats are due. I hope they figure something out. I mean, you and I have talked several times about how Bryce may not be it. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Briefly, how about them cardiac canes? Tied going into the third period twice, won both times. I could watch this all season long.
All right, I appreciate the
Thanks,
call,
guys. Hope
Thank
you
you.
have a good eve.
This is, I don't know if it's sustainable. Like this is, Dennis. Actually, you can be the voice of the people here. I'm gonna read a stat. This is one of three things.
All right.
One could just be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
2 could be completely unsustainable. 3 could be covering up, putting lipstick on a pig. Could be making something that's really bad look like it's not bad and making us ignore the issue. Right now, through 34 starts, Bryce Young has 9 wins. He has 9-25.
Okay.
He has 8 game-winning drives in the fourth quarter and overtime. 8 of his wins have come essentially at the last minute or two, a lot last seconds, which, again, could just be awesome. Could just mean, hey, you got a clutch quarterback. Could mean that's covering up for some bad play, and maybe you don't even deserve to be winning 8 games because you've lost the first everything but the last few minutes in those games.
Mm-hmm.
Or I guess, like what is it? Actually, that's just the way I'm going to.
For example, against Arizona, you got to stop on defense, and it was 2 long Chuba Hubbard touchdown runs in overtime that got you a win. But that goes on Bryce's record. Against the overtime last year against the New York Giants out in Germany, it was a defensive turnover, so all you had to do was just really run a couple plays and kick a field goal, and it was game over, but that counts as an overtime win. So I don't know, is that considered clutch? I mean, we also saw it against Arizona just a couple weeks ago, 2-minute drive, chance to win the game, and he had 6 incompletions.
Mm-hmm.
So which one is it? Also on the final drive yesterday, 3 of 6 passing on that final drive. Now, granted, he did have the great 4th down completion as well, but still 3 of 6. So which is it? That's the thing. I still don't fully know.
It could also be this. It could also be, he's just playing for an awful team. Right? They're never ahead by 2 scores in the 4th and get to take the air out of the ball. They never do it.
Very rare.
It's a strange. It's like, oh, he is clutch. He also has a billion opportunities to be clutch because his team is always behind. It's a really weird deal there.
But that's also, is like you said, is that, well, where's that level of play when you can go, hey, let's make it a 14-point lead here in the second quarter?
It's baffling. Heister Automotive Group hotline open for a Monday. Sound off 919-860-5326. 919-860-5326. Let's get to Edward and Wendell wants to sound off on NC State. Edward, welcome to the show. Happy to have you as always. Go ahead and sound off.
I think the game against Notre Dame, first off, my prediction last week was really close. I said 35-10 Notre Dame.
Take your victory lap.
Yeah, take one victory lap. And then I think we could have made it closer. Our defense did okay. I think holding Notre Dame to 35 points at away at Notre Dame, I think that's pretty good. But if our offense can get going, I think that's even better. I think we could have kept it closer. Our offense is our main struggle this year. And if we could get that offense up to, like, at least 2 more touchdowns, it would look a lot better. A loss is a loss anyways, but to go out and build the stats, make better stats, that would just be a cherry on top. That would be a better flavor or something.
All right, Edward. As always, I look forward to your breakdowns, and I'll build off of them. Thank you very much for calling in, and congratulations on your prediction. Way to take your victory lap, which we're big on here, by the way. We're big on accountability.
Hey, take a victory lap, one finger up in the air. Be like, yep, it's me. I called it.
Go full Olympics. Put your country's flag like a cape and go run around the outskirts of the track.
For real.
I would zero in even further and say the offensive line is where State is maybe lacking a bit this year. That's where I think is the root of their issues. It's in the trenches. It's on the offense. It's also on the defense. Don't get me wrong. But the trenches are where I see the cracks in the foundation. Ian in Apex, next up on the Heister Automotive Group hotline, wants to sound off on the Miami Dolphins. Ian, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Well, I just want to talk about how historically bad this Dolphins team is. It's just sad to watch, and there be nothing done with coaching or anything done. And honestly, it's very, very bad. I don't know if any more Dolphin fans can really take any more of Mike McDaniel's talk, any of his press conferences, because he just sits there and does a whole bunch of nothing and just, I don't know. And the Tua needs to be gone. I trade him at the trade deadline. The season's really over. In retrospect, I think the only 2 good players on the team are Achane and Waddle, and that's the only bright spot. And for everyone needs to go. And the fact that Mike McDaniel is coaching this team is very, very sad, because even the Titans got rid of their coach, and they're the same record as us, and he's a first-year coach. And Mike McDaniel's a 4-year head coach, and he's done absolutely nothing to save Tua's career and anybody. And it's just very sad, and I think Dolphin fans are just done with him.
I appreciate the call. Thank you very much for calling in. I'll fight back on a little bit of that real quickly here. The reason why he's a 4th-year head coach is because he made the playoffs his first 2 years. So Brian Callahan is actually a 2nd-year head coach, and he's won 4 games in the year and a half he's been there. And Mike McDaniel had an 11-win season 2 or 3 years ago. I actually use the Dolphins a little bit here as maybe a warning for the Panthers, where Tua Tagovailoa is he good enough? Is he not good enough? He does some good things. Oh, but he doesn't do this, but he doesn't do that. And then statistically, he had some seasons that were pretty impressive, and boom, he gets the big contract. And I think for the most part, Dolphins fans wish that didn't happen. I think a franchise quarterback is kind of in the category of you know it when you see it and you're not in doubt of it. Like, you know it when you see it. And Tua was very much like, maybe, could be, is he? Yeah, we'll go with it. And then it's like, we didn't know it, did we? We kind of talked ourselves into it. I don't want that to be what they do with Bryce. Well, he kind of put something together there for a little bit. It's like, do you know it? Listen to your gut. Listen to your heart. Reggie in Sanford is next up on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. Reggie in Sanford wants to sound off on Bill Belichick and the Panthers. I don't know if that's the same rant, a new one, separate ones. Reggie, the floor is yours. Go ahead and take it from here.
First off, love your show.
Thank you.
Be spot on. The Belichick press conference, I believe he said the right things. As far as because I mean, as a coach, when you see players practice well, in practice, and you want that to initiate in the game, and sometimes it's like, what in the world? But you practice well in practice, so I think it's more of a mental thing. I think they was getting that, but eventually it'll results in a game. Now with the Panthers victory, I'm a Cowboys fan, but
all right.
I really thought that the Panthers went the run, they ran the ball to sell the pass. And the defense is nowhere near as the Panthers defense, but I saw a little bit on the offensive end that Bryce Young didn't have to do much. Just when the pass is there, just throw it. But rely on the running game to set them up for the pass.
All right. Thank you very much for the call, Reggie. We got to let you go because we're up against it, but appreciate it. And I would just I would add this about the Belichick deal. We're going to play a lot of that audio for you in just a few minutes, so stick around, right? And then we'll get further into what Reggie was talking about there with Belichick's press conference. We have two more here. We're going to hit them as quick as we can here during a little Sound-Off, Monday Sound-Off. Eric in Chapel Hill wants to sound off on Andrei Svechnikov. A little Canes talk. Eric, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off, please.
Hey, Tim. Hey, Dennis. Just wanted to talk a little bit about Andrei Svechnikov and how the Canes made a big bet on him, signing him to an 8-year deal, $7.75 million AAV. This is a bet on him being a 30-plus goal scorer perennially and a very good power forward in the NHL. Since that time, he's had one 30-goal season on a career-high 7 empty net goals. He's also had some trouble staying healthy. I think that this has really got to be a make-or-break year for Andre. I want to see him score, again, above 30 goals this season, and I think he needs to get somewhere in the realm of 70 points. And if he's not somewhere in that realm, then I think the Canes need to look at potentially moving him somewhere to get some value for him. I think it would be better for Andre and better for the organization. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much. There's a few things to break down there. Yes, they absolutely took a big bet on Andrei Svechnikov becoming an elite player when they signed that contract, but with every passing year, that contract does become more and more and more palatable. Also, and I go back and forth on this, so you're catching me on a day where I'm kind of on the other side. Empty netters count. Like, you don't get to just remove them. Just like you don't get to remove, a great shot that the goalie stands on their head, right? I think it kind of comes out in the wash. And also, if you look at, like, the all-time most empty net goals in history, it's Svechkin, goodness gracious, Ovechkin, Gretzky. We were talking about Svech, and I tried to say Ovechkin. It's Crosby, Eric Stahl's up there. It's Mario Lemieux. Like, there's it's funny how all the good goal scorers also score empty netters. So if he's got a bunch of empty netters, maybe he's just a good goal scorer. Last one, Tom in Creedmoor here on a Monday Sound Off, wants to sound off on NC State. Tom, welcome to the show. Send us out the right way.
How you doing?
Give us a good sound.
How you doing?
Doing very well.
How you doing? Tim, do you think this bye week is going to come at a good time for NC State football and everything?
I think there's never been a bye week that came at a bad time. If you ask a head coach, there's always something to work on. What like in what context are you asking the question?
What do you think they might work on? I know they want to get some people healthy and all that. What do you think they may work on? What do you think they might work on during the bye week, especially on offense?
On offense, I think it's about getting C.J. Bailey back to where he was at the beginning of the year. It seems like to me there's kind of a line of demarcation that late first half turnover against Duke. Seems like he hasn't been as calm since then. So I think it's about maybe playing him a highlight film, reminding him that he's pretty darn awesome at this. Then on defense, it's really the first chance they've gotten to look at themselves on tape. So many new guys, so many different positions. A different scheme, and they've been go, 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 go. This is the first time they get to kind of lick their wounds a little bit and regroup. So that's what I think most of the bye week's going to be.
Do you think there may be some changes in the start on the offensive line after the bye week?
Perhaps. Really hard to know without knowing who's looking good in practice there.
Okay, well, I still think we have a chance to have a good season this year, and so I'm still proud of them.
I like your optimism. We appreciate the call. Tom, call back in anytime.
I will.
There you go. There is a bye week for State this year. Then Pittsburgh, 12 in the country. Georgia Tech, 2nd in the country. Miami. So it better be a bye week at a good time. Might be one way to say it because they're coming out with a gauntlet of sorts. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. If your house feels like a gauntlet when it's hot outside, or it feels like the freezer when it's cold outside, well, your heating and cooling system might need a little bit of a checkup. Mainer Service Company can help with that. If inside your house it feels like a rainforest, well, your plumbing might need something to check. If you got drips coming from the ceiling, and if it always feels like nighttime, that means your electricity's not working. These are the big and obvious signs that something's not going right, and you need to call Mainer Service Company. But it could be the subtle signs as well, right? You're outside and you hear a funny noise coming from your HVAC, or your when you turn on the electricity, you hear a little pop pop pop, right? Anything going on that doesn't seem right, Mainer Service Company should be your first call. Matter of fact, if you call them at the first sign of trouble, could save you a lot of work and a lot of trouble down the line. Mainer Service Company wants to help out with your heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, all of them, all of it. It's like a handy guy or a handy person from like the 1930s, right? That you call them, they come in, can fix darn near everything in your house. Mainer Service Company, and they're just as present in your community. So give them a call, 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993, or visit them online at MainerServices.com. That's MAYNOR Services.com. Up next here on The Drive, we have some audio for you from Bill Belichick's press conference just a couple of hours ago. What did he say about the reports of dysfunction in his franchise and his program? Stick around.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
He always makes excuses, and it's always somebody else's fault. That's who Tua has been through the 6 years he's been in the National Football League. Respect is earned, it's not given. I don't give a damn that you got a C on your chest and that you've been appointed the, quote, leader of the team from the coaches. In the NFL, if your locker room does not respect your quarterback, it's over. Full stop.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending and Cary. With the Federal Reserve cutting rates, the most frequent question we get is, do I wait for rates to go lower, or should I take the savings and just act now? At Miller Lending, we toss all the timing questions aside with our popular no-cost program. With no fees charged or added to your loan amount, you simply close on today's rates and refinance again as rates fall. With many economists predicting rates in the 5s next year, why pay upwards of $15,000 to $20,000 in closing costs just to get a rate you may get for no cost next spring? Imagine the freedom to use that money for more important things than reducing your payment by the extra $50. Recently, we've noticed a trend of related party transactions as some of the nation's largest lenders have bought real estate or mortgage lead sites, driving closing costs even higher. Please don't throw away all that cash or equity when all you wanted was a lower payment. Call Miller Lending and see why a no-cost loan is the right loan for you. 919-447-3377, 919-447-3377, or simply apply online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender on MLS number 250-2146.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. I travel coast to coast covering hockey. But when I'm back home, I head to my home away from home, Buffalo Brothers, for the best wings on the planet. You can't beat their specials at all 5 of their Triangle locations. Every pro football game day, you can get Miller Lite Draft for $4.50 and Blue Moon Draft for $5.50. Pet-friendly patio too. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
Hello, I'm John Heister for John Heister Chevrolet in Fuquay Varina. And people are asking us, how are you selling so many cars all of a sudden? Well, did you know that the Beltline has opened up the outer loop? We're only 28 minutes from Knightdale. We're only 19 minutes from Clayton and 15 minutes from Apex. We're now the most convenient Chevrolet dealership to reach in the Triangle. It's just one more reason to get off your keister and come to Heister.
Now at John Heister Chevrolet, get up to $12,000 off a new 2025 Silverado 1500. Includes trade assistance. See dealer for details. Together, let's drive.
Pierce the veil. I Can't Hear You World Tour 2025. Pierce the Veil. Live in concert in Raleigh. With special guests, Health, Eka Vandal, and Like Roses. Live at Coastal Credit Union Music Park, Saturday, October 25th. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Part of the Mattress Warehouse concert series.
Johnson. Caught! Touchdown! North Carolina! Kobe Paytor!
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. North Carolina Tar Heels were on a bye this past week. They're really testing the whole no publicity is bad publicity thing, right? Because it was a bye week and everybody was talking about them, and there wasn't a ton of compliments being spread. So no publicity is bad publicity means they're doing just fine. Maybe certain publicity is bad publicity, like publicity that's all about the dysfunction within your program, publicity all about the possible recruiting violations done by your program, coaches being suspended, coach being suspended, publicity that's all about preferential treatment being given to certain players and not others, lack of accessibility of coaches by players and their families, mishandling the non-travel roster guy. Like, there is so much. Okay, I don't know why I was. You can go read the articles yourself. Quite a few of them written by Pat Welter of WRAL, who you've probably seen on every sports show from here to the West Coast in the last week. Started on ours, by the way. He was on ours before any of them. So take that. Pat, obviously, colleague, friend of the show, and he's doing great work. And he was in attendance for the Bill Belichick press conference today, where it was Bill's first real public opportunity to address many of the conversations that have been had about his program recently. And we have some of that audio. Here's Bill Belichick on the rumors that he was looking to leave Carolina, or at least discussing a potential buyout.
Right off the bat, some of the reports out last week about my looking for a buyout and trying to leave here and all that, it's categorically false. There's zero truth to any of that. Glad I'm here. We're working towards our goals and the process. I had great support from Chancellor Roberts, Bubba, Steve, and so forth. Mike Lombardi. It's been those people have all been great, and I appreciate all their help and everything. And we just believe very much in the process. Kind of like Bill Walsh said, the score will take care of itself. And I've always believed that. You just got to keep working and grinding away, and that's exactly what we're doing.
How much coach speak do you go into when within your coach speak you are quoting another coach's coach speak? That's like coach speak inception. That he's in deep in the cliche world. As Walsh used to say, I believe he said it to Parcells and heard it the first time from Lombardi when he was talking to Stram. He said, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of... He's deep in the coach speak world. Listen, what he's talking about there, and I don't think it's a surprise that he started naming people by name. It was a show of unity, right? And during that clip, Dennis jumped in my headset and reminded me that it wasn't just Pat Welter from our colleague at WRAL that was in attendance. It was also Brian Murphy. It was also Chris Lee. It was also some of WRAL's documentary team, some of their news team. We rolled deep into Bill Belichick's press conference from here at Capitol Broadcasting. But you know who else rolled deep into that press conference? Bill Belichick and the decision-making core of UNC. They had the chancellor. They had the athletics director. They had the GM. They had the head coach. They had them all, which I do think is worth mentioning. That inner circle has not been the ones talking about dysfunction. They've been the ones pretty much denying the dysfunction, right? The sources have been, at least the ones that we know generically where they are, they've been anonymous parents. They've been those close to the program, those with knowledge of the program, those that have worked with and or for Bill Belichick. That group, the Bubba Cunningham, the Mike Lombardi, the Bill Belichick, publicly they have been saying nothing's wrong, which I have to be real. Sometimes I don't get, because we're all watching the football. Right? In a lot of ways, we know something's wrong, right? If nothing's wrong, why are you getting smoked by UCF? If nothing's wrong, why are players not as engaged in the fourth quarter as they should be? If nothing's wrong, why are all these sources saying that there is something wrong? Bill Belichick on reports of a divide within the locker room.
I mean, I'm with all these people every day, coaches, players on the field. Our guys work hard. They have a great attitude, great energy, and we've shown a lot of improvement. We've made a lot of improvement. I think that's exciting for all of us to see, certainly for the individual players to see it, in the units that they work with. So, I don't know what kind of perspective some of those people have that are saying that, but I think anybody that's around it on a daily basis would see that. And I'm sure the players all see the improvement that they're making as this coaching staff.
There's an interesting phenomenon in college sports. And actually, Dennis, I'd be interested in your opinion since you coached college sports. If our head coach judged our happiness, our fulfillment only by what we presented when the head coach was around, he would get about an eighth of the story.
Yeah, if that.
It's why you need to have a really good relationship with your strength and conditioning coach if you're the head coach. Because in that weight room, get people a little tired, get them running, you start to hear some real thoughts, and people stop being less secretive, right? You really need some assistant coaches who may seem like they're not very authoritative. They're kind of chummy with the players. Not saying they abuse that trust, but because they get a better actual feel for how life is going with the players, right? Head coaches, everybody, it's like you're mic'd up. You know what I mean? When players are mic'd up in the NFL and they always play right at the beginning, them walking around and telling everybody, hey, feds are listening.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm mic'd up. Hey, basically saying, like, don't be the real thing here. Be the public version of yourself. When the head coach walks in, everybody's on their P's and Q's.
This is where you have to have a good relationship with your captains.
True. That's another good example.
You really do. You have to have a good relationship with the captains of your team, because you can go to them and be like, hey, what's so-and-so thinking over here?
Or some teams do it by leadership council.
Yeah,
so you get,
same thing.
So you get a couple from like the freshman, sophomore, junior, senior classes. So you kind of get a full. You do need that, and you need to be able to ask them a question. Be real. Hey, how's everybody doing? Why was Wednesday's practice so lethargic? And get an answer that's real rather than, you're right, coach, we'll get better, coach, which is what the head coach is going to get every single time. You know what? We have more from Bill Belichick, including whether he believes the process is working for the Carolina Tar Heels. It is in our starting five, and I don't want to rush through any audio. So I promise you, we'll say within the next 10 or 15 minutes that we have two more clips from Bill Belichick that we will get to and we will react to with the proper amount of time to react. So stick around for that. I just don't want to rush it. There's context to this situation. We can't do it in 30 seconds. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That aforementioned starting five is coming up. But first, Dennis Cox has something he'd like to tell you.
I do. Dennis Cox from my good friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I've lost in 10 weeks with Raleigh Weight Loss Center 40 pounds. Lost 40 pounds at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. We actually really say that number out loud. It still hits me when I get to say that. And it still hits me when I step on the scale and I look, because I'm in now what Raleigh Weight Loss Center calls their maintenance phase. I've lost a whole bunch of weight. Now it's all about keeping that weight off, and I keep stepping on the scale. I've done this over the last week, and the same number keeps popping up, which is the thing that I'm actually most surprised about, because I've heard so many people go through weight loss programs where they quickly put weight back on, then they have to try and lose it again. They just put it back on. It's just up and down, up and down. I've been able to maintain this weight consistently, and that's the thing that I'm enjoying most, is that not only did I get the weight off, I'm keeping it off as well. It's like, hey, you know what? You made the hard work worth it. But if you want to get to that next step, set up a free 15-minute call. Free 15-minute phone call with Raleigh Weight Loss Center just by giving them a call at 919-897-7506, or you can always visit them online at RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. If you have questions, if you have concerns, that's what they're there to do. That's the whole point of that free 15-minute phone call, to see what the program is about, see if the program is best fit for you, and go forward and understand the plan that Raleigh Weight Loss Center has. RaleighWeightLossCenter.com, or give them a call. 919-897-7506. Results may vary.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, gets to the starting five, and more Bill Belichick audio next.
The road to college football's national championship runs through 99.9 The Fan. The ACC, the SEC, the biggest matchups will be found here.
Prabula firing left side, seam picked off, and Alabama is going to hang on and win this one, 27-24.
College football on The Fan is powered by Wake Med, Roofworks, and Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac GMC in Sanford.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And you know, we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
Hello, I'm Jen, and I work in the service department with Newcomb & Company in the Triangle. I've worked at Newcomb & Company for over a decade and can tell you firsthand our comfort contract is hands down the best way to stay worry-free and comfortable in your home. In fact, the program works so well, we have over 4,000 customers who use it. Folks love it because when you sign up for the comfort contract, you get the best service Newcomb offers. We prioritize contract members with same-day service, priority scheduling, and emergency after-hours calls. So there's no waiting when your system needs help. On top of that, Newcomb & Company is a proud independent train dealer. We back exceptional train products with our expert service, and we treat your home like it's our own. It's hard to stop a train, and it's hard to beat Newcomb & Company service. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com to learn more about our comfort contract. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Waking up, getting ready, sitting in traffic. Let's face it, getting to work in the morning is a lot of work. But when you get a great deal on your favorite McDonald's coffee, becoming a morning person is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Now get any size refreshingly cold iced coffee for $1, a delicious mocha for $2, and a frappe for $3. Available only during breakfast hours. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
One last exhale.
Fitting, isn't it? The final shot at the Championship 4 comes down to a track that's been here from day one. Martinsville. Close quarters, tight corners, and a fan experience that brings you so close to the action, all of the mayhem will be right at your fingertips. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Martinsville Speedway, October 23rd through the 26th. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score! Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRL meteorologist Amy Wilmoth. Still lots of clouds around today and a little breezy, but temperatures are comfortable. Overnight tonight, it's partly cloudy with a low of 56. We'll have partly to mostly cloudy skies on Tuesday. Should still be a bit on the breezy side with a high of 72.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones today up 588 points to 46,067.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. It is time for the starting five. And as always, we start with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
James Franklin was fired over the weekend.
Yeah, he was.
Penn State head coach. 3 weeks ago, I think it was, they were number 3 in the country, and they had a touchdown lead on another major contender, and the wheels fell off, and they just kept falling off, and then they caught on fire, and then they kept falling off. And then he got fired a couple weeks later.
Preseason number 2 in the country?
Preseason number 2 in the country,
yeah,
behind Texas. $50 million buyout, reportedly $49 million, roughly. So good on him. And I think there's some ripples, some shockwaves that'll go from that decision kind of across college football. We'll talk about those at about 4:45. But there's something a little more. Oh, go ahead.
I'll say he's not the only coach that got fired this weekend. Brian Callahan, Titans head coach, got fired today.
Today, yeah. Somehow.
It's early well, actually, we're mid-October now, but already getting firings.
I saw a few media members in Cleveland were immediately like, I bet Franklin isn't the only coach in the state of Pennsylvania to get fired. And I was like, what are we doing here? Now who else in Pennsylvania? What is happening?
Sirianni.
I didn't know where they were going with it. Maybe Tomlin?
No.
Who else? I couldn't figure it out. Or did they think
Pat
like
Narduzzi?
Did they think like the
at Pitt?
Cleveland? Did Cleveland play in Pittsburgh? Maybe is that what they were getting at?
Oh yeah, they were in Pittsburgh yesterday.
Oh, okay, so maybe Stefanski is what they were predicting. Who knows? Either way, there's another coaching situation I want to spend some time on. So let's jump to it at number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
Bill Belichick spoke to the media today. His first time having like serious public thoughts other than, a one-sentence statement, since multiple reports about dysfunction within his program, a coach suspended, a whole bunch of riffraff around his program was kind of exposed and reported on. One of the things he was asked, Bill Belichick he was asked if he believes the process is working within his program, meaning his program building process. If it was working, and this is what Bill Belichick had to say.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a learning curve. We're all in it together, but we're making a lot of progress, and the process will eventually produce the results that we want to produce, like they have everywhere else I've been. So I'm very confident in that. Players are working hard. They're getting better, and we're going to continue to do that and improve.
All right, so there's a lot to unpack in that one. My official stance last week. So I even said, like, this is my official stance. You can stamp it, lock it in. My official stance on Bill Belichick over the bye week was it was going to take help, right? There was going to have to be a forfeiting of some ego, and you're going to have to raise your hand and say, I need some help. And my opinion was it was going to have to come from somebody with extensive experience in college football. Because I think some of the ways that UNC has been messing up aren't like they're not permanent, right? They're not flaws that you can't fix, but you needed somebody to almost, you need to call them like a consultant almost, to just look at your business and go, all right, here are the 4 red flags that need to be fixed if you're going to have success in college. And I don't want to say defiance, the steadfast belief in how they're doing things at UNC from Bill Belichick at the podium today made me think no such call will be made. There's no, okay, yep, we didn't know as much about college football as we thought. All the NFL stuff we brought down maybe won't work as well. We need somebody with a fresh set of eyes to look at this thing. That's not how they're thinking. They're thinking, just like Novocaine, give it time, always works. And they're just going to wait it out and keep doing what they're doing and not change their stuff, and hopefully it works. And I just don't see it, right? We've seen the product on the field. Smoked by TCU, smoked by UCF, smoked by Clemson. Not a dominant enough win against Charlotte, and then they did take care of business against Richmond in week 3. But I think there's bigger things that need to be fixed. And then throw in, what was the exact quote? Like everywhere I've been. Play the quote for me again. I don't want to misquote Bill at all.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a learning curve. We're all in it together, but we're making a lot of progress, and the process will eventually produce the results that we want to produce, like they have everywhere else I've been. So I'm very confident in that. Players are working hard. They're getting better, and we're going to continue to do that and improve.
Like they have everywhere else I've been. I get it. Like if I'm Bill Belichick, I would feel like I have something to brag about, right? If I'm Bill Belichick, I would have something like, hey, I won a lot of these football games. I don't know if you remember. They haven't happened everywhere he's been. He lost significantly more games than he won with Cleveland.
Only had one winning season in Cleveland.
That's
actually only had one season over 7 wins.
So, I mean, not everywhere. Even if that, all right, maybe that's semantics, right? Oh, you're nitpicking. He just meant he's been good. Yes, he has. But I'm not gonna. I'm trying really hard not to say what's your record without Brady.
Say it.
But what's your record without Brady?
There you go.
And I'm of the belief that you, meaning Belichick, the first, like I look at the Patriots dynasty. Was it Brady or Belichick? I look at it and say the first 3 were Belichick mostly, the second 3 were Brady mostly. That's the way, and I don't know if that's like too down the middle, if people get mad, pick a side. That's the way I look at it, right? Those first ones were won. Belichick, defenses were dominant. There were games Brady threw for like 160 yards and won in the postseason. Like you each take ownership. I think Bill Belichick is a really good coach. I want to acknowledge something. Everything I just talked about was in the NFL. Everywhere you've been has been in the NFL. It's a different industry. They're adjacent, but it is a different industry in college than it is the NFL.
Yeah, some people can make great television. Doesn't mean you can make a great movie, or vice versa.
It's Snoop Dogg making a reggae album and saying, like, I've been platinum with every record. It's like, well, that was in hip-hop. This is reggae. It's different. Yes, it's still making, 12 tracks, and it's still, there's a beat involved in lyrics. Like, it's adjacent, but it's different. Do you know what I think actually is kind of the missing ingredient of what Belichick had success in the NFL and doesn't have in college? The threat to cut somebody. In the NFL, week 6, you get 2 dumb penalties week 6. You can be off the team by Monday morning. In college, you don't have that. You can't be so gruff and fire and brimstone. You got to be more optimistically motivating. You don't have to give anyone in the NFL your home cell phone. You don't have to check in with people. You tell them, here's your job. If you don't do it, I'm cutting you. In college, you can't do that. The guys that are on your roster at the beginning of the year are the only guys you get to choose from for the rest of the year. We have one more bit of audio that I promised you. Bill Belichick on developing the roster that they currently have.
Well, I think we'll take advantage of every opportunity we have to improve the team, whether that's in the recruiting or whether it's in transfer, or most importantly, in developing the players that are here. Like that, this is a developmental program, like every program is that I've ever been a part of. The idea is to get our players and get them better, get the best ones we can, and then the ones that are here, work hard, coach them, and let them improve. But in terms of bringing in new players, I would say based on what the roster was when we got here, I think we did the best that we could. Could it have been better? We did the best we could.
I'm struggling, and this is not a Bill Belichick alone problem. I'm struggling with what a developmental program means in college sports right now. I'm not sure they're allowed to exist anymore.
It's hard. It really is.
I think almost developmental programs should be group of 5 programs, and they should understand that as soon as you get close to a finished product in your development, they're going to jump to the Power 5. I'm bringing in guys out of the transfer portal or freshmen and expecting them to contribute 2 or 3 years from now, but you got to develop them that long. I don't know if that's a realistic expectation anymore, because you don't want to spend NIL money on a player who hasn't proven anything, and they're going to say, I'm good enough now to want NIL money, and it's going to go. It's a weird. That's not a Belichick problem. It's a college sports problem. Every coach says they're developmental. I think the big programs are going to have to be almost about scouting more than development. Just going picking their players that are good enough already rather than bringing them in and getting them good enough. That's number 4. Let's get to number 3.
Snap back to Bailey, left hashes at the Irish 45. Bailey uncorks one, right sideline. It is caught. Touchdown, NC State. There's a 45-yarder down the far sideline.
NC State went to Notre Dame, number 16 in the country, Notre Dame. Lost 36-7. It was 10-7 at half. So Notre Dame went on a 26-0 second half run. I don't think it's all bad for State. I think there were things that were okay. Some injuries that are going to be tough. Got to wait and see an update on guys like Terrell Anderson. CJ Bailey, and this happens with young quarterbacks. And I'm actually, I said earlier that I'll raise my hand when I'm wrong. I think I may have treated CJ Bailey like too much of a veteran earlier this year because he was playing so much like a veteran. Talking about the quarterback, he was getting through reads, he was making the right throw. It was surprising when he didn't find the right spot. With young quarterbacks, and they have a bye week right now, which is kind of the perfect time for it, and I said this to a caller earlier. This is something my coach did with me in college one time, and I think it worked, and I've suggested it many times to quarterbacks in the since that time. Take the bye week. Look at a GA, grad assistant. Find a quality control coach. Find a video editor. Somebody who, you can put some mileage on the late night with coffee and say, I need you to make an electric 10-minute highlight film of CJ Bailey. I want throws with lightning bolts coming out of the sky. I want his favorite song as the bed. I want a bananas highlight film of CJ Bailey. And then one day during the bye week, I'm going to call him in. I'm going to say, we need to talk. That's scary, right? Head coach, phone. Hey, when are you going to be by the facility today? Come by my office. We need to talk. Block out some time for me. That's scary. What did I do wrong? Who said what? You walk in, and then once he walks in, goes, hey, man, what's going on? Hey, watch this. And just put it a highlight film and make him remember that he's really gosh darn good. The last few games, Campbell excluded, I've seen just a little wavering of CJ Bailey's confidence. And just a little wavering leads to turnovers, right? Leads to tipped passes, leads to just being a hint behind on some throws, a hint behind on deciding to tuck it and run. I think you just need to boost the confidence. Give him the highlight film. For those of you that need a vibe, do you know what highlight film I want, or do you know what vibe I want the highlight film to have, Dennis?
What's that?
Remember the early 2000s Maddens when you turned it on, you would have like a hip hop song about football, and they would play highlights from the game while everything loaded up. I want his highlights to feel like that. Just awesome play after awesome play with cool songs and make him feel like he's in a video game. And then go, that's who I want to see when we play Pitt. I want to see the guy in those highlights. Hollywood Smothers doesn't need the highlight film. I think he's still confident, but him and the offensive line need to get going better than they did against Notre Dame. That was probably more of the cause of the loss, is that the guys up front and Hollywood Smothers couldn't get going, which just let Notre Dame wear everything down and capitalize on State's mistakes. That's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us. Aho leaves it for Gostisbehere. Back to Aho. Shooting spot for Jarvis. Seth Jarvis wins it in overtime.
Canes are 2-0, everybody. They got the win over Philadelphia on Saturday.
Can't get to 82-0 unless you go 2-0.
On pace for quite a few wins.
Yeah.
Seth Jarvis on pace for quite a few goals.
82 game-winning goals this season for Seth Jarvis. Let's not forget he had the game winner in Game 1.
That is true. 3 goals total, 2 game winners. That's it, right? It's his turn. How far do we want to take this? Do we want to be sitting here going like, Alexander Nikishin, 82 points.
Let's go.
82. He's got 1 in each. He's got an assist in each.
Nikolai Ehlers, 0 points this whole season.
Hey.
Call a spade a spade.
What he does is he unlocks Seth Jarvis for his, whatever that ends up being, 120 goals. Right?
For it.
That's funny. Listen, the Canes 2 games, they got the win at home to open things up against the Devils. Then they got the win at home against the Flyers. There are 2 different versions of what really good teams do in the regular season. Game 1, I think they were the better team on the ice. They played pretty well for most of the game. And they just kept chipping away, kept staying the course, kept playing good hockey, kept getting good looks, ringing the post a bunch of times. And then eventually, the last 4 or 5 minutes, boom, the lid comes off. They win 6-3. Felt inevitable. The second game, I don't think they played their best, right? I think there's a lot on tape that Rod Brind'Amour is going to want to fix up. I think they played a little sloppy. I think they for about 30 seconds did lose the game before goalie interference kind of overruled it and took the goal in overtime away. A couple of their stars make a play in the last minute, and Seth Jarvis scores and they win. That's the other thing really good teams do, right? They show up with their C game, C+ game, win anyway, right? I always call it a Max Scherzer, right? Guy shows up, he's like, I don't know, can't control my off-speed stuff. Fastball is not touching what it should. He walks off the mound with 7 2/3 and 2 runs allowed. It's like, you know what? You only need your C game to get a quality start. Both of those things bode well for the Canes moving forward. The fact that they can show up against a team that is, expected to be in the mix and be the better team all night, get the win, and they can show up against a team who's not really expected to be in the mix, not play their best all night, still walk away with 2 points. Now, I go back on this every couple of weeks probably. I actually don't think about it every couple of weeks, but I think about it this time of year a lot. Dennis, do you like the State Fair road trip this early on in a season for learning what your team is or figuring it out?
I don't know if necessarily learning what your team is or figuring it out. I think it's good at this time of year to go ahead and get that long road trip out of the way because your legs are fresh. Because you don't want to be trying to make that in January.
I do think it's kind of, my relationship with cardio.
Mm-hmm.
You hate it the whole time it's happening, and then as soon as you're done, you're like, thank goodness I did that. I feel so accomplished having done that.
I did something.
And the whole time I'm miserable. The only reason I ask is because they're not what they're going to be a month and a half from now.
Oh,
you know
no,
what
not
I mean?
even close.
So it's like, giving yourself one of your toughest tests when you're not nearly at your fully formed part is kind of up in the air there, right? It's like, it's tough. But the reason why I like it is I do think road trips bond teams. When you're at home, practice ends, get treatment, everybody goes home. On the road, practice ends, get treatment. What are you doing? I don't know, going back to the hotel. I don't know, you want to get food? You want to play cards? Want to play dominoes? You want to walk around? You just do stuff, right? And you can become a closer team. I do want to update a little bit on some injury stuff.
Okay.
I have it all right here. Rod Brindamore's post-practice update earlier today, and I believe they're traveling like now-ish.
Yeah, they're probably in air.
Jacob Slavin with a lower body injury was being reevaluated when Rod Brindamore updated the media. Still to be determined at that time if he travels. I have not heard if he is on the plane or not. But I will say this. If I were a coach in the NHL, I would tell my trainers, I want you waiting in my office after I talk to the media. Because then I wouldn't be lying when I'm like, I don't know what's going on with him. And I could walk out and learn what's going on with him. Pyotr Kochetkov, lower body injury, will not travel, at least to start the trip. He might possible to catch up with them somewhere along the trip, which Rod Brindamore indicated Brendan Bussey, their newly claimed goalie, will likely get at least one start at some point on this road trip.
By the way, also this as well, this actually came through officially 5 minutes ago. We got the release from the Carolina Hurricanes. They did recall Charles Alexis Legault from Chicago, the defenseman, who made a really good impression in training camp as well. So he was brought up probably just to be an extra body in case, to be a seventh defenseman, because right now Mike Riley is that guy that kind of slides into that spot. So that's probably a precaution thing as well. And Pyotr Kochetkov was put on injured reserve, which is more or less just to free up a roster spot.
All right, there's some good additions there, which, by the way, is also why I told everyone not to lose their marbles when guys were sent to the AHL to start the season. I'm like, they could be one injury, one day, one period away from being called back up.
Yeah.
Which obviously Legault pretty much was. And I am intrigued by him. I don't know if I just, don't pay attention to prospects enough. He kind of just popped up onto my – I knew of his name, but didn't know, how close he was to being ready, right? I thought he was more of a, just threw him in the crock pot rather than we got 10 seconds left on the microwave. He might be ready for the NHL soon. But I'm intrigued by him, so we'll see if he gets a shot. But as you mentioned, Riley is the guy who you would expect to jump in and play minutes right now. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1.
Go one! Fake to Dowdle. Young backpedaling. Flush to his left. Throws downfield. Dowdle wide open. 10, 5. Touchdown, Rico Dowdle. Buckle up.
Carolina Panthers beat the Dallas Cowboys yesterday. 30-27. Speaking of rate statistics, right? Jarvis is on pace for 120 goals. Rico Dowdle, since taking over as the starter, is on pace over a 17-game season for a little over 3,500 total yards in his last 2 games since he became the starter with Chuba Hubbard going out with the injury. He's, with 230 total yards per game, something like that. That is an insane amount of total yards, which I'm going to ask this question. By the way, celebrate, go nuts. If you're a Panther fan, you are 3-3 for the 500 at this point in the season for the first time since 2021. I believe it was the game, if you're looking for a monument, something that may stick out in your memory, where Cam Newton came back and got the start and then was kind of yelling into the crowd, "I'm back," after scoring. Since then, they have not been 500 at this point in this season or later. So celebrate, right? 2-game win streak, 3-0 at home. Go nuts. Dennis, let me ask you this.
Hit me.
The Carolina Panthers have won each of their last 2 games.
They have.
By 3 each. 27-24 against Miami and 30-27 against Dallas. They had a running back that put together 2 of the best running back games in Carolina Panthers history. If you're getting outlandishly productive games from your running back and winning by 3 against, I would say, not elite teams, is that sustainable?
No.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to say celebrate. It's hard to win in the NFL. Celebrate every win. And Mike Vrabel was quoted basically saying that in the Patriots locker room, going I like that we're not satisfied, but guys, you got to celebrate for a couple of hours because you don't get these, they're not free in the NFL. So celebrate if you're a Panthers fan, and acknowledge that the Jets coming up is another opportunity to get another win. You could be above 500. They're 0-6.
Yeah, Jets stink.
But acknowledge something that I think part of it is a bit inflated for the Carolina Panthers right now. And when you go Buffalo, Green Bay in back-to-back weeks, when you go, Rams bye week, New Orleans, that's it, winnable. But then Tampa, Seattle, Tampa. Like there's going to be sections where you're going to find out how real this really is. And if the only way you win games is by the hair on your chinny chin when your running back has 230 total yards, you're not going to win many games. But 3-3 is 3-3. I don't want to take that from anybody. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we grab Numbers Game contestants, we haven't played Numbers Game much recently, so I'm looking forward to it. Dennis has something he'd like to pass along.
I do. Dennis Cox here for Loan Pronto. Folks, you trapped on a high-rate mortgage, watching your hard-earned money vanish away every single month? Well, stop. Right now at Loan Pronto, they're delivering the lowest mortgage rates in 3 years. Loan Pronto's rate reduction home loan program is a streamlined, low-cost way to slash your house payments by hundreds of dollars a month. Lock in a fixed rate as low as 4.99% APR and close in as little as 2 weeks. No appraisal needed in most cases, and here's the kicker. You can skip your next 2 house payments entirely. Don't wait, folks. Rates this low, they won't last. Call Loan Pronto now for your free, no-obligation quote. Imagine this. Think about it. Lower payments, more money in your pocket, and a fresh start with a better mortgage. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com to lock in your new low rate and skip those next 2 payments. Don't let high rates hold you back, folks. 919-381-1760 or go to loanpronto.com right now. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, needs Numbers Game contestants. Call 919-860-5326 for your chance to compete in the Numbers Game. The winner will receive a pair of tickets to see Seth Meyers at DPAC doing some comedy. That's in January 21st. So call in right now if you want to play the Numbers Game and maybe win some Seth Meyers tickets. The number 919-860-5326. Call in now. Numbers Game next.
Move your sports day forward.
Trust, a simple word looming large over Carolina football today. Reports have become reality, and so much it looks like we're publicly witnessing a couple renewing their vows after a long marriage. The problem is these renewals are coming way before the first anniversary of the relationship, and that's tough timing if you trust they'll stay together.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Welcome home from Baker Home Exteriors. Your home is not just where you live, it's where life happens. We're proud to continue Baker Roofing's century-long legacy of excellence, bringing that same dedication to your home. Whether it's roofing, siding, gutters, or more, we transform houses into the homes you've always dreamed of. Your home deserves nothing less. Visit BakerHomeExteriors.com and let's build something beautiful together. That's BakerHomeExteriors.com.
Cedar and Daughtry. Live in concert, Fall Tour 2025. With special guests, POD and Kami Kehoe. Red Hat Amphitheater, Saturday, October 18th. Cedar and Daughtry. Get tickets now at LiveNation.com.
Is going to your local bar the worst part of your day? The bartender ignores you, mediocre food, warm beer? Then why go there? Take 5 minutes and drop in at Sharky's, where they'll give you a free evaluation, and you can learn about all the bars that you shouldn't go to. Sharky's has helped thousands find the right bar to hang at. What are you waiting for? Sharky's evaluation could be the cure to the worst part of your day. Change your bar, change your life. Sharky's, 5800 Durley Road by the Shell Station.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the Numbers Game. We have Micah in Morrisville. We have Dylan in Raleigh. They are the contestants. They'll be battling it out with numbers, jersey number trivia for Seth Meyers tickets. But before we do that, we have Panther Talk coming up immediately after this show, so right at the top of the next hour, like 6:05-ish. And then we also have Monday Night Football here on 99.9 The Fan. I believe it is the Buffalo and Atlanta version of Monday Night Football. There's 2 games tonight. I'm sure they'll be updating on the other. But Buffalo and Atlanta, which is the 7:15 start, you can hear right here on 99.9 The Fan. Now that that's out of the way, Micah in Morrisville and Dylan in Raleigh. We'll ask each of you the same question. Dennis will pick his favorite answer. That person will get to go first. Micah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. The question is, as it often is on Mondays, what was the highlight of your weekend? But because we're a sports show, keep it sports related.
It would be being at the Canes game on Saturday against the Flyers. And then the best part at the end was we weren't playing great, and there was a couple of Flyers fans near me, and it was like the best day of their life. They were actually like winning a game, and then they scored an OT, and then a lot of the fans around us were like, "That's no goal," and they were like chirping us, and then they called a goal back, and then they get dunked on by Seth Jarvis. It was classic, and then they stormed out really mad. It was hilarious.
I don't want to defend Flyers fans, but you couldn't expect the Canes to get the benefit of a goalie interference call, right? You've just been conditioned that all of those would go the other way, so maybe they were just feeding into that energy. All right, Micah, that is locked in. Do you have any follow-ups, Dennis? All right, that is locked in. We'll move to Dylan in Raleigh. Dylan, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right, same question to you. What was the highlight of your past weekend? But because we're a sports show, make sure it is related to sports somehow.
I got to say it was that Panthers W over the Cowboys yesterday. That was awesome.
All right. We appreciate it. You are locked in. Dennis, good luck.
This is not an easy one.
Not at all.
Not an easy one at all, for the simple fact that I enjoy when opposing fans get to drink their tears as they leave games. I enjoyed that very much. And honestly, could have happened to 2 better fan bases, Philly and Dallas, both of them.
Correct me if I'm wrong, though. Of the Philly fan bases,
yeah,
the Flyers would be near the bottom of the ranking for, I think Eagles fans are rough.
Yeah.
I think Philadelphia Phillies fans are rough.
Mm-hmm.
I am a Sixers fan, so I'll abstain. I'd put the Flyers 3rd in that group.
Yeah, that's fair. I will say that if there's one franchise I enjoy to watch lose, it's the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with Dylan on this one.
All right.
But both great answers,
Yeah,
though.
I'm glad I didn't have to make that decision. Dylan gets to go first. Micah, you'll have your chance. Just stay on hold. Dylan, are you ready to pick a category?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
All right. The categories are NFL McSomethings, all players whose first names start with a capital M and a lowercase c. NFL players who were all at some point or another Marcus Mariota's teammates. NBA players where the common denominator is that they were born in mid-September, or NHL hurricanes throughout history.
Ooh, let's go the NFL Mick players.
All right, all players whose last name starts with capital M, lowercase c. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. 1 pass if you need it. Do you have any questions before we get started?
No, let's do it.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. Terry McLaurin, Washington Commanders.
17.
Correct. Anthony McFarland, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Pass.
Deuce McAllister, New Orleans Saints.
I want to say 26.
Correct. Pat McAfee, Indianapolis Colts.
Number 1.
Correct. Evan McPherson, Cincinnati Bengals.
I want to say single digit. 2.
Correct. Anthony McFarland, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's not bad. Yeah, you kind of meandered your way through it like it was a maze, but you got 4 out of 5, which is a good number to start the week. Go ahead and stay on hold, and we'll see if it holds up. That brings us to Micah in Morrisville, and I should remind everybody, Micah has played this game before, and he has gotten a perfect score before, so keep that in mind. Micah, are you there?
Yeah, what was McPherson's number again?
92 is – McPherson was 2. McFarland was 92 for those of you playing at home.
Okay.
Yeah. I kind of jumped the gun there, but he said single digit 2, so I figured he wasn't going like 20. I don't know. Either way, Micah, you got to beat 4 out of 5. Are you ready to pick a category?
Yeah.
All right. Categories are NFL players that were Marcus Mariota's teammates at some point or another, NBA players that were all born in mid-September, or NHL players that were Hurricanes?
Yeah, the Hurricanes won.
I had a feeling. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. I will say the team in this category, even though we know it, just to keep it fair timing-wise with the other category. Do you have any questions before we get started?
No, I'm good.
All right. You need all 5 for the win, and your time will start when you hear the horn. Logan Stankoven, Carolina Hurricanes.
22.
Correct. Scott Morrow, Carolina Hurricanes.
24.
Incorrect. Paul Coffey, Carolina Hurricanes.
52.
Incorrect. Scott Morrow, Carolina Hurricanes.
56.
Correct. Yanni Kuokkanen, Carolina Hurricanes.
36.
Incorrect. Paul Coffey, Carolina Hurricanes.
18.
Incorrect. Yanni Kuokkanen, Carolina Hurricanes.
Jeez. 52.
Incorrect. Paul Coffey, Carolina Hurricanes.
77.
Correct. Jack Hillen, Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known.
Yeah, that was a good effort. You fought till the end. You got 3 of them. You got Stankoven, you got Morrow, you got Coffey. Kuokkanen, we were looking for 59, and Jack Hillen, which I did say at the end there, you didn't really get a chance for it, 38. Unfortunately, not enough for the win, but good going, and hopefully you had some fun.
Yep.
All right, Mike.
GG.
What was that?
It's a good game to the other guy.
Is that, yeah, okay. GG, I get it. Is that an online thing? Feels like a chat room thing.
It is.
Yep, there you go.
For all you online gamers out there.
Micah, we appreciate it, and that means Dylan is the winner. Dylan, congratulations.
I appreciate you guys.
You won Seth Meyers tickets coming up in the near the end of January. So stay on the line, and Dennis will grab all the info he needs to make sure you get your tickets.
All right. Good deal. Appreciate you.
Thank you very much. Congratulations once again to Dylan in Raleigh. Both of those were really kind of weird tempoed numbers game. Getting them wrong, coming back, getting them right, stumbling through it. Dylan was talking like, oh, I just want to say 26. Right. I felt like I was the one with more urgency than him, which I do. I do think I do that for everybody. I try not to, have favorites of any kind. I like to kind of, roll with the punches. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Mainer Service Company. They do it all when it comes to taking care of your house. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. And when I say they do it all, that means not just when emergency strikes, although, yes, when emergency strikes, right? When it's the middle of the night, toilet starts overflowing, and oh no, what do I do? Call Mainer Service Company. Middle of the night, and it's 1,000,000 degrees outside and your air conditioning blows. Call Mainer Service Company. But also, you may want to consider calling Mainer Service Company when you're not in an emergency, right? It's football season. What does that mean? Sweater weather, hoodie weather. It's going to start getting colder. Get your heating system checked up on. See if there's any maintenance that needs to be done to prevent one of those emergency situations happening later. Also, if you're running, I don't know, space heaters and things that take up a whole bunch of electricity, may want to get it to make sure your power strips and everything are taken care of. Get them a little electrical maintenance, right? Make sure there's nothing happening, up in the attic or something with uncovered wires. Mainer Service Company, they'll be there when you call with an emergency, but they'll also be there to call to prevent an emergency. They do it all across the Triangle, all of Wake County, and 50 miles in any direction, 24/7 service. Mainer Service Company. Give them a call, 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993. You can also visit them online at MainerServices.com. That's MAYNOR Services.com. James Franklin was fired over the weekend from Penn State. Lost too many games in a row for a team that spends too much money on football. What's the trickle-down effect that could reach all the way to the Triangle? Stick around.
Do you have a smartphone? Of course you do. Do you have a pocket or pouch or human hand to hold your smartphone? Then you have no excuse. Download the 99.9 The Fan brand new app today and take us with you wherever you go. Your favorite hosts, podcasts, and live sports action all in one place. Available for Apple iPhone and Android phones. Finally, there's an app for 99.9 The Fan. Download the 99.9 The Fan app today. Powered by Aspire Money Management.
This party's getting crazy.
Are those mini horses?
And there's a build-your-own fireworks bar?
Ah! Heads up!
Whoa, and they've got the new ultimate blowout scratch-offs.
Okay, now it's a party.
With $250, $500, and $5,000 prizes, the ultimate blowout scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery are exploding with wins. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 8.26. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Hey, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan for my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I've been on the program for 10 weeks now at Raleigh Weight Loss Center, and I've lost 40 pounds. That's right, 40 pounds in 10 weeks thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center, and I'm now transitioning into what they call the maintenance phase. So the goal with Raleigh Weight Loss Center is not just to lose weight, to maybe hit a target goal, but keeping you there as well. So many fad diets are just up and down, and it can be really frustrating for a lot of people. Well, that's the whole point of Raleigh Weight Loss Center and their program. It's to help you maintain that weight once you get there. And if you have questions or concerns about Raleigh Weight Loss Center or what the program entails, you can set up a free 15-minute consultation by giving them a call, 919-897-7506, 919-897-7506, or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. If you have questions or concerns or maybe some health concerns about maybe going on to a weight loss journey, have them answer those questions. 919-897-7506, RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Results may vary.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Life comes at you fast in the coaching profession. That's just facts right there. James Franklin was fired over the weekend. James Franklin, less than a year ago, was 3 points away from playing in the national championship game for Penn State. They lost in the Final Four by 3. He was fired over the weekend. His last 3 seasons for Penn State have had 11 wins, 10 wins, and 13 wins. I want to say this one more time. He was fired over the weekend by Penn State. And he was fired with what I consider an agent who had done their job. He's getting roughly $50 million in buyout. I always say, like, an agent can structure a contract in a way, if you're a coach, they can't prevent you from getting fired. But if the buyout is high enough, I think they can usually get you 1 more year. Right? Like if you have a down year, a bad year, they can get you 1 more year. Enter like Norvell at Florida State. Right? He had a bad year. They didn't fire him. They got 1 more year. And if it keeps getting worse and worse like it's going right now, he'll probably be joining James Franklin. But he got the 1 more year. James Franklin, $50 million buyout in the range of, I've seen, depending on which contract insider you believe, anywhere from $49 to $56 million. What's $7 million once you get, above 45, right? It's all the same. $50 million buyout. So good for him, right? Good for coaches. I don't know why or how that industry has become one where they're so valuable that you get paid that darn much, as if there's not like a ton of people that would willingly take that job that are pretty good. I was like, when the Penn State job opens, don't you think there's a lot of good coaches that are like seeking them out, trying to interview?
Oh, easily.
I don't know why they always like college coaches getting, 50, 60, 70 million dollars in buyout. Never made sense to me, because it's a wildly attractive job and millions would love to have it. And although millions aren't qualified, there's got to be a couple hundred that are qualified. Coordinators across the country, right? Like if you just went there, there's hundreds of them. But either way, neither here nor there. In college football, if you don't win early in your tenure as a head coach and consistently in your tenure as a head coach, you're going to lose your job. You can't take a quote-unquote blue blood, or you can't take a highly compensated head coaching position and go a decade without winning a national championship and expect to keep your job. That's so difficult. Like even in professional sports, like if you as an NFL coach didn't win a Super Bowl for 10 years and you lost your job, it's you and 31 other teams going after it. In college football, you take over a position like Penn State. If you don't win a national championship in your first 5, 6, 7 years, you're on the hot seat. And there are hundreds. There's that 60 some odd power conference teams chasing it. And you don't have a salary cap. So if there's another team with more money, they get to go spend more money. But here's the way it works. There's like 12 hours of, oh my gosh, James Franklin's fired. Then there's there's like 6 hours, oh my gosh, James Franklin's fired. Then there's 6 hours of, oh my gosh, James Franklin got paid how much to go away? And then it's immediately to, all right, who's Penn State taking? Right? Because it's a food cycle. What do they call it? Food chain. There you go. It's a food chain in college sports. The big money teams take from the slightly less money teams, who take from the slightly less money teams, who take from the group of five, who take a coordinator from the big money teams, and it's that relationship over and over and over again. So who's Penn State going after? There are some names that make a lot of sense, right? Dennis, Matt Rule.
At the end of the day,
I felt like
That's interesting, though.
I felt like I covered Matt Rule a lot. I didn't know he played at Penn State. This is no disrespect to Matt Rule because he was a 4-year member of Penn State and walked on, but he's from the area, and he was on the team for all 4 years. So credit to him. He doesn't give off I played college linebacker vibes to me. So he was a linebacker at Penn State, and I'll tell you right now, I don't care how much money Nebraska's giving him. I don't care how much he loves corn. Alma maters sing a siren song that people have a really hard time turning down. Alma maters sing that come on home sound that sounds mighty good to every coach. If you don't believe me, ask Scott Frost. Then there's the big trophy fish. I think Curt Cignetti would be that guy. He has proven he can turn around a program quickly. Not that Penn State needs to be turned around, but if he has the same kind of impact that he's had at Indiana at Penn State, starting where Penn State is now rather than starting where Indiana was when he took it over, watch the heck out, right? So I think they're going to probably throw a bag at him and see if they can't get him to leave Indiana before their bowl, which might be the CFP. Or how about this one, everybody?
Oh, by the way, you mentioned Matt Rule.
Mm-hmm.
You can bring Dylan Raiola with him.
Oh, yeah.
His eligibility. That's the thing.
Oh, yeah. And that is actually a big, big part of this. I think it's actually a part that was underrated about Bill Belichick taking over at UNC, which all of this is a part of, right? It's the money, it's the flashy name versus what are you looking for. Bill Belichick taking over UNC, something that everybody missed is, and myself included, is he wasn't coming from somewhere else in college, so he didn't have previous relationships in the recruiting world. When Curt Cignetti took over Indiana, right? When Kalen DeBoer took over Alabama, when any of these guys took over where they are, they came from somewhere else in college, which means there were people that they were actively recruiting at their previous spot that they can then say, everything I said still true. We're just wearing a different color polo when we say it now. Why don't you come with us? When Cignetti took over Indiana, he brought a whole bunch of JMU with him. And it turns out that JMU team was better than we thought. And it worked. So somebody like Matt Rule not only shows up with a ferocious pride in Penn State, he shows up with a ferocious pride in Penn State and whatever recruits he can bring with him from Nebraska. Which leads me to, Is Duke worried about Manny Diaz? Does this sound familiar? A team with ridiculously deep pockets, one of the big money teams in college sports, fires their coach and has to pay them a ridiculously large buyout. Duke's head coach at the time is in his second year of a really, really strong first couple of years leading the Duke program. And also has been a really good coordinator at that very same deep pocket school within the last handful of years. And also has a quarterback that is kind of everybody's darling this year, but is looking to make a star turn. Am I talking about Mike Elko 2 years ago, or am I talking about Manny Diaz right now? Texas A&M fires Jimbo Fisher, pays him $70-some-odd million to go away. Mike Elko had been a coordinator at Texas A&M, has a history there, and was in his second year at Duke, and he was building something special. And he had a quarterback that was everybody's apple of their eye, and Riley Leonard. Manny Diaz, Penn State, pays James Franklin a bunch of money to go away. And Manny Diaz had been a coordinator there, and he's got Darian Mensah, who everybody's really excited about. It sounds very similar there. Now, I don't think at this point Manny Diaz is on many experts' insider list, but I'd be trying to negotiate with him a little bit of extra stay money. Pull a John Shire. Let's give you 2 extra years on top of your contract right now. Trying to get him to stay. Because, and by the way, neither Elko nor Diaz have what I consider like deep roots connected to Duke or Durham. They both had like loose connections, but they both embrace it and seem like they get it. But it's not like they grew up in the area or something like that, and this means something to them. And then lastly, my last point for Duke is this: if nobody wants your coach, it means you're not very good. I believe in that wholeheartedly. It's the NFL problem, right? My coordinators keep getting hired to be head coaches. You know what that means? Your team has been really good. That is a first-class problem. So, if you're not very good, your coaches aren't going to be they aren't going to be courted. The only way to make it work and have your program level up is to have a coach that's running a program that is good enough that people want that coach to be their head coach, and they either turn them down and stay, or you can remain hot in the hiring process and just keep finding guys that can keep the momentum going, like you did with Diaz following Elko. Now let's do the quick fun conversation here. What should James Franklin do? James Franklin, good coach. I'm sure I've told it. James Franklin recruited me lightly as a preferred walk-on when he was the offensive coordinator at Maryland. He is an unbelievable recruiter. Unbelievable. I didn't commit to him, but that's because it was the whole other thing. If you would have asked me where I could get a scholarship, where would I choose? I would have said to play for James Franklin. He was that kind of good, right? So he could be a coach. I think there are places that would darn near fire their coach to talk to James Franklin to potentially hire him.
Yeah, consistently have 10, 11 wins each year and get into the college football playoff? Absolutely.
And I assume that $50 million payout has offset language, which means I don't think you'll have to pay him very much because you're not going to pay him more than Penn State's paying him per year. And he doesn't care if he gets the money from you or Penn State. So a cheap James Franklin would be one of the most attractive coaches on the open market. He could also go into media. If he wants to be an honest evaluator on some studio show, I think he would have a ton of options. ESPN would want him, NBC would want him, Fox would want him, they'd all want him. Or he could take a $50 million buyout and tell the public life to mess off and go buy a house in whatever his dream scenario is and chill for the rest of eternity. Start a philanthropic organization of some kind. Fill his time. That is a heck of a question to answer when you're 53 years old. I think he still wants to coach. I think he's passionate about it. But he could take some time off and figure out where the right place is. He could do the Mike Vrabel. He could do the Tom Thibodeau. He could go take a year and study film in a dungeon somewhere and then come out a better coach because of it. Who knows? Maybe he could wait for a school like UNC if he thinks that's going to open up. They got $10 million a year for coaches. That's what I've been told. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Monday Night Football is coming up tonight here on 99.9. That's Buffalo at Atlanta. But before that, you will hear a little Panther talk. Second straight week, Panther Talk will be talking to Dave Canales after a win. They beat Dallas, and you get to hear the insights of it. How in the heck do you get Rico Dowdle 200-plus yards every week? I'm guessing they'll talk about it. Panther Talk coming up next right here on 99.9 The Fan. Subscribe to our YouTube. Download the 99.9 The Fan app. And we'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody.
We've got NFL tonight on 99.9 The Fan. Presented by Wake Med.
Showtime, prime time.
Your primetime matchup is an NFC battle.
Hot dog, man.
It's Chicago and Washington.
Dominate on 3. 1, 2, 3, dominate.
Pregame starts at 7.
Here we go.
Kickoff at 8:15.
Put up or shut up time.
On the Triangle's home for the NFL, 99.9 The Fan.
Monday night, you gotta feel it.
Is your heating and air system ready for cooler weather? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your independent trained dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
It's the Drive into Fall event at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington, and right now you can drive away in a brand new Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited for as low as $34,500. That's over $10,000 in savings on the SUV you've always wanted. See dealer for details. Luxury, power, and performance, all for a price that'll blow you away. Plus, the largest inventory and best selection in the area to choose from. So get off your keister and get to Heister today. John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington.
The holidays are here, full of joy, family, friends, and yes, a little hustle and bustle. That's why you need Aleve. Between cooking, shopping, and all those extra errands, aches and pains can sneak in. Aleve is here to help with long-lasting body pain relief. Don't let body pain slow you down. With up to 12 hours of body pain relief per dose, you can keep up with the season's magic and all that awaits. Pick up Aleve and get back to what really matters, making memories. Use as directed.
Talk about stepping up! Bang! Bang! It's time to level up your game. Introducing the all-new ESPN app. All of ESPN, all in one place. Your home for the most live sports and the best championship moments.
The electricity is palpable.
Step up your game with no annual contract required. It's the ultimate fan experience. Level up for more on the ESPN app or at stream.espn.com. Sign up now.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork